Can't buy AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the John Kobylt Show. How are you? It's good that you're here. Every day we do this, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6. And after 6 o'clock, if you miss stuff, you've got the podcast that you can enjoy at home or wherever you listen. And that's on the iHeart app, too. We are live on YouTube again. So hello there to you YouTube people. We got a live chat running alongside the screen. And let's get going. Next hour. This should be good. Late last night, before I went to bed, I went to bed and I was very relaxed because I saw that Adam Housley, who's a former Fox reporter, and he is now an independent journalist, and he writes on various media sites, including adamhousley.substack.com. Just go to Substack and type in Adam Housley. And he has his own investigative sources from all the years that he worked in the media, a couple of decades. He knows a lot of people in government. And he has a lot of inside information on the state of the Gavin and Jennifer investigation. And it seems like it's coming to a boil. Something's happening. I will tell you this just as a teaser to make sure you show up at 4 o'clock like you're supposed to. One of his sources says investigators have completed numerous interviews, compiled evidence, assembled timelines, and prepared prosecution summaries. And a lot of this centers around Jennifer Newsom and her sketchy nonprofits, her for-profit company, her tax forms. And it looks like, they had at least one of Newsom's aides wired, and that Jennifer's conversations were recorded quite a bit. Just to remind everybody that this investigation began in 2021 under the Biden administration. So that's going to be Adam Housley coming up after 4 o'clock. Now, coming to scams closer to home, well, this comes from Matthew Seedorf, who's a great reporter over at Fox 11. And I'm going to play you the audio of his report in just a moment. But it looks like, remember we were yelling a couple of weeks ago, where are the homeless numbers for 2025? They're long delayed. Why are they delayed? Well, it turns out that the homeless numbers are up. Bass was spending a lot of time in the campaign claiming the numbers were down. And a lot of her numbers for like 2024 were cooked. The Rand Corporation found that in their sampling, Bass's numbers were wrong. So she lied about the numbers. And it looks like she must have delayed the homeless count being released until she got through the primary. Because suddenly now, 6 weeks after the primary, it turns out the homelessness was up. And I don't know if this quote is in the audio story or not, but this encapsulates what everybody with a brain should feel. One resident said, "I don't listen to numbers. My eyes are better than numbers." That's right. Use your eyes. There's no drop-off in homelessness. What they tried to do the last couple of years is pull a trick. And the Rand people figured it out, and that's a private think tank. They got rid of the tents. So without the tents, it wasn't as visible, the bright blue tents, which had been handed out by the nonprofits. Well, that also became easy for people to see, wow, homelessness is bad. So the city yanked away the tents, but the people who were still sleeping outside, you just weren't noticing. It was called rough sleeping. There's thousands of people who now engage, because when you're whacked out on meth or fentanyl, you don't care that you're sleeping on the sidewalk. And they are. They're sleeping on the sidewalk. They're sleeping in storefronts. They're alleyways, in bushes. But it's always been the same amount of people. In fact, slightly more. They just didn't have a big blue tent to flag your attention. So anyway, here's one of the reports they put out in Fox 11. Matthew Seedorf, play cut one.
An alarming number revealed by a Fox 11 exclusive investigation. According to multiple inside sources familiar with LAHSA's latest homeless count, the number of people living on LA streets is up roughly 3.5% from last year.
I think it's more than that.
You think it's more?
Right.
What makes you think that?
I see it all the time.
After 2 straight years of reported declines, sources tell Fox 11 this year's count is expected to climb back to around 2024 levels when it's released Friday.
I'm definitely concerned. We've been concerned over the last year that the numbers might go up because of the cuts we've experienced and other changes.
Last week, Mayor Karen Bass warned funding reductions to LAHSA following scrutiny over spending and management could impact progress.
Wait. I gotta stop it. I got to stop it. This is unbelievably funny. She has blown billions of dollars. She's had friends in the homeless industry make millions of dollars of our tax money. She blew so much money that the federal government said, we're cutting our contribution because you're wasting it and you're stealing it. And so now she's all indignant and outraged, basically saying it's Trump's fault, which I guess is always a winning play when you're talking to the stupid. If the federal government cut off some of the funding, then it's because you can't be trusted with the money, because it's been clearly proven that it's being wasted and it's being stolen. And there's no question about it. And I will always remind you that when she was supposed to testify in a civil lawsuit about where the money went, she hired, no kidding, 15 lawyers. She had an 11-person outside law firm and a 4-person group of city attorneys to keep her from having to testify. Play some more.
Progress.
I don't listen to numbers. My eyes are better than numbers.
I've seen a lot going on within the streets that has helped people get inside.
This block on South Hope Street highlights the homeless crisis, where several buildings have caught fire, many people think from squatters.
These are nuisance properties, right? And there's not enough inspectors, there's not enough funding of these programs.
Fresh plywood already ripped from one of the entrances, while Martine digs through burned rubble for metal to recycle.
Buscando fierro, metal.
As LA prepares for Friday's release, the numbers may be changing, but scenes like this haven't.
Downtown, we face the brunt of it. Downtown is, the heart of the homelessness crisis. We need help. We need more resources. We need to do bigger things.
Mayor Karen Bass just sent us this statement saying for 2 years straight, we drove down homelessness by historic margins. But as expected, last year, our efforts ultimately couldn't keep up with policies and funding cuts on the federal and state levels. This crisis was ignored by city leaders for decades. It's only now that we've seen a historic decline. I will never stop fighting until no Angelenos are sleeping on our streets. Sources say that this report is also going to be broken down by city council district. Some districts saw that increase, others saw a decrease. We're live tonight downtown. Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
She'll never stop fighting as the homeless numbers keep increasing. Maybe she should stop fighting. And yes, the state cut money as well. Even Newsom didn't want to give Bass any more money. How bad does it have to be that Newsom says, no more for you? You're wasting money on failed programs. When Gavin Newsom is telling you to put down the bottle. I found this story. This was the LA Times from last October when the Rand Corporation did its study. They found the annual homeless count missed nearly a third of the people in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row. The headline said the LA homeless count misses people who aren't in tents or cars, a new Rand study finds. And the annual homeless count missed nearly a third of the people in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row. This is on purpose. This allowed Bass to run for mayor, claiming that homelessness was down. It was a lie. We'll continue when we come back. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour news.
Here is the latest. The heat wave in Southern California has intensified, and First Amendment organizations are threatening litigation against the LA City Council if it doesn't rescind a word ban put on speakers. We will have more at the bottom of the hour, heading over to the 60 next.
Declare your independence from dated, tired windows. This July, American Vision Windows is offering you a savings of $1,776 off their new windows. And it's only going to last another week or so. New windows not only lower your energy bills, but lock in your comfort year-round and give your home a curb appeal boost. And your neighbors are going to notice. They say, oh, wow, that's nice. With 25 years and more than 1 million windows installed, American Vision Windows is California's most trusted window replacement company, and they're employee-owned. So every employee has a personal stake in getting your project right. And you can expect a smooth process with most projects completed in just a day. So you're not living in a construction zone. And this month, your project costs a lot less, but you have to book it by July 31st. And by my count, that's only 8 days away. New customers only. Restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. AmericanVisionWindows.com. Call 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be hot again tomorrow with highs in the 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 60 in Hacienda Heights.
This one is along the westbound side before Hacienda Boulevard. It turned up, or after the problem, the car caught on fire. The right lane is blocked and delays, they're backing up away from Nogales. We're also checking out the Cahuenga Pass. Earlier wreck on the 101 northbound coming up on Barham. It's out of lanes and delays backing up from Melrose. Also tough in Anaheim Hills with a stall. 91 westbound at Lakeview. These guys are out of lanes, but the drive is slow moving from Imperial Highway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Inheriting a home can be overwhelming. You got repairs. You got a long time to get everything ready to sell, and it feels like more trouble than it's worth. So Seller's Advantage is who you call. Here's a real customer who inherited a home and said it would have taken us a lot of time, money, and headaches to get the property in shape to sell. I heard about Seller's Advantage from radio commercials and gave them a try. And the offer was reasonable, and they took care of all the physical effort and legal complexities, closed within 3 weeks. Call Seller's Advantage, no matter what the reason. 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-AS-IS, 888-321-2747, sellersadvantage.com. Get a free, no-obligation cash offer.
Seller's Advantage will buy your home, make it easy so that you don't have to worry. Sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
DRE number 0961658, Providence Realty DRE number 019152212.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a new podcast where secrets come out, emotions run high, and no topic is off limits. Brought to you by AirTasker. Whether it's a task that just popped up or you've been putting it off for weeks, local taskers are ready to help. Listen to Therapy Thursday with Ellen K now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Getting you back to your life pursuit. Hogue Orthopedic Institute. Call 1-800-919-2000.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
Take action for your retirement. Call Golden Crest Metals, 888-447-7857.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
A lot of apps like to say they're free until they ask for your credit card. iHeartRadio is different. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges. We make money from our advertisers, not from you. It's the same radio you've never paid for. Live radio stations, playlists, podcasts, and artist stations, all in one app. So if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Free radio. Always has been, always will be. Now wherever you go.
iHeartRadio.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Andy Reesmeyer in for Conway this week. Tonight, the malls are turning down music, and it's because the teenagers are overstimulated. Somebody get them a bottle. That's coming up tonight on The Conway Show.
$1,000 giveaway.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Check. That's CHECK. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI.
The word is check. Check. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder. There's a new winning keyword every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. And next chance to win it with us, 420 on KFI. Today, LAHSA announced the 2025 homeless count. This was delayed for many weeks until Karen Bass survived the primary. And then they released the news that she failed again. Homelessness is going to be going up, has gone up 3.5%. The number of people living on the street increased by around 8%. And residents say conditions remain a visible concern. No kidding. Thanks. That's the LA Times. Yeah, I guess so. I guess if it went up 8%. And the tent story I told you is true. It was intentional. People don't want to believe this. They know what they're doing. That's how you stay in power. That's how you get hold of a lot of this money. They had the tents taken off the streets to make it look like things had gotten better. And then they told the homeless crew, count the tents. And the homeless crew said, whoa, looks like homelessness is down like 13%. No. Rand Corporation went in there and did their own count and found out that people are sleeping on the ground in the alleyways, but there's no blue tent. And you know, in the middle of the night, you can't see who's sleeping in the alleyway or in the storefronts or in the sidewalks. It looks like they're sleeping under a pile of garbage. I mean, if you were doing the count, you wouldn't go into those. Would you go into an alleyway on Skid Row, right? Of course you wouldn't. You'd get stabbed in the neck and you'd die. So the LAHSA counts, the LAHSA crew doesn't do it. And they're told not to do it. There was a whistleblower who in an affidavit said that they cooked the numbers because they didn't want to make Karen Bass look bad. Because the woman who ran LAHSA, Alicia Adams-Kellum, was Karen Bass's close friend. So Adams-Kellum made sure that the numbers weren't bad. But Adams-Kellum's is gone now. The Rand Corporation went in and figured out what the racket was. And like I told you, they found that the homeless count by LAHSA last year missed nearly a third of the people in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row, primarily those sleeping rough without tents or vehicles. So the old way of counting was a scam. Just count people in tents and vehicles. Now, somebody in the Bass administration said, well, what if we get rid of the tents? Then LAHSA's not going to count them because they're too scared to go into the alleyways to find these people. You see? There was some crazy activist woman screaming at me on television one day because I was saying, she was insisting the numbers were down. She's another one of Bass's friends. And I said, no, they're not. And I started quoting the Rand Corporation. And she just went ballistic, screaming and screaming. Totally out of control. Total nervous breakdown. Because it's the truth. These progressive activists fall apart when you try to tell the truth, and they'll just scream. But I was right. She was wrong. She didn't want to hear it that day. That's okay. It's still the truth. It's the truth today. And now you have all the media reports saying, yeah, the homelessness was up. Well, yeah, use your eyes, look down. Don't just be distracted by the blue tents. Years ago, there weren't no homeless people in blue tents. That was your tax money being used by these nonprofits when they wanted to make a visual blight in order to get us to give money. If we saw dozens of blue tents, we'd go, oh, this is bad. I guess we should pay more in taxes. And it worked. You paid more in taxes. But then it became a sign of, wow, all that money and there's still a lot of blue tents. And they said, uh-oh, the public's going to turn on us. They're going to turn off the money spigot. So they took away the blue tents so you wouldn't notice and then told the LAHSA body counters not to count the tents anymore. Or only count the tents. But don't go looking for rough sleeping. Don't go looking for single bodies. So Rand went in again, found the bodies, didn't find the tents, said, oh, it looks like rough sleeping is up tremendously. Yeah, rough sleeping. It's the way they used to sleep. They all used to sleep on the ground until the nonprofits brought in the blue tents so that they'd be able to sell the tax increases easier. Everybody in this stupid city has been played 10 different ways over the last 10 years. Blue tents go up, you give more money. Then you start noticing the number of tents aren't going down after all the money. It's like, wait, what happened? So they get rid of the tents themselves. These nonprofits actually took the tents away so you wouldn't be upset about spending the homeless money. And they're still suffering out in the open. And by the way, there's still over 2,000 of them a year are dying in the streets. It's such a well-done scam. I have to compliment them. They're evil. They're cold-blooded psychopaths, but a brilliant plan, and it worked really well. Got more coming up. Deborah Mark, live KFI 24-hour newsroom.
The heat wave in Southern California has intensified with temps nearing the triple-digit mark and humidity increasing. National Weather Service forecasters say the weather system will also keep temperatures higher at night in many areas. They say today through Sunday is expected to be the hottest stretch of the next 7 days. A heat advisory took effect yesterday for almost the entire LA area and will stay that way until 8 p.m. Monday. First Amendment organizations are threatening litigation against the LA City Council if it doesn't rescind a word ban put on speakers. They say the rule violates the Constitution and state law. They say if the word ban and associated exclusion provisions are not repealed within 30 days, attorneys for a Los Angeles woman who's been regularly kicked out of council meetings will file a lawsuit. The council adopted the ban a year ago. It prohibits public speakers from using racial slurs and obscene words. At least 2 people are unaccounted for following severe flooding in West Virginia.
Over 100 efforts, the swift boats that came in, local, DNR. We had over 10 drones that were operating, 10 choppers that were busy as helping in terms of the search and rescue efforts.
West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey says there's progress in the state's response to the severe flooding across north central West Virginia. It's been nearly a month and a half since Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell was rushed to the hospital, and he's been notably absent from Congress and the public since then. Democratic New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez told reporters that many questions need to be answered.
I mean, if Senator McConnell is not capable of as basic a task as answering a letter to Governor Beshear, I think that conveys a very disturbing inability to fulfill his duties.
His staff has also been tight-lipped on his medical condition, and Kentucky Governor Beshear says he still has yet to hear about the status of his recovery. We're going to the 110 next.
I just opened a new bank account at Infinity Bank in Orange County, and it was the most seamless, easiest process to switch to them. You talk to Victor Guerrero, good man. And he's the president of Infinity Bank. And he will talk to you anytime, any day. Here's his number, 657-223-1000. 657-223-1000. Infinity Bank, not trying to be the biggest bank, but one that consistently provides excellent customer service. They will not nickel and dime you on any fees. And take advantage of the limited time rate promotion with their money market account. It's one of the best rates in the whole country. Ask for Victor. Call 657-223-1000. Infinity Bank, member FDIC.
Southline weather from KFI, sunny and hot again tomorrow. Mid-80s to mid-90s. Metro LA, triple digits in the valleys and the IE. Windy again in the IE. Mid-90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy again there. Mid-70s to low 80s at the beaches. Mid to upper 80s inland OC. Right now 89 in Laguna Woods and 91 in Rancho Santa Margarita. It's slow on the 110 in South LA.
It's that northbound side where delays begin at the 105 freeway, and you have slowing in stretches all the way to the 5 in Elysian Park. The southbound side of the 110 also slows in Elysian Park, leaving Stadium Way. Delays continue ahead to Manchester Avenue. Santa Monica, 10 eastbound loading up away from Lincoln. Delays all across Mid-City, all the way into downtown Los Angeles. Even the 5 southbound slows in Griffith Park, leaving the 134. That's a tough drive all the way to the 605. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
GiveMeTheVIN.com, where you can sell a car in a hot minute. You ought to try it. Enter your VIN number, get an offer fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com. There'll be CarMax and Carvana offers every day. And if they can't do that, they'll pay you $100. GiveMeTheVIN.com will get you your check on the spot. Super easy, super fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
With Norwegian Cruise Line, you don't have to choose. Whale watching in Cabo San Lucas and French cuisine at Le Bistro. Ziplining through the jungle and relaxing at Mandara Spa and Salon. Beaches of Puerto Vallarta, and water slides that bring out your inner 12-year-old. See, you don't have to choose just one kind of vacation, but you do have to choose Norwegian. Book your 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise sailing from LA or San Diego. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store today. We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com. Walk-ins are always welcome.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a new iHeart podcast where secrets come out, emotions run high, and no topic is off limits. Listen now on the iHeart Radio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
I've looked into a HELOC and didn't qualify.
HELOC said no. Splitero says go. You only need a 500 minimum credit score and no income requirement. You keep your home and your existing mortgage rate. Visit Splitero.com today and access your home's equity.
In this edition of the Marketers Report, Heather Sparks, head of content at Zenith, discusses the power of radio hosts.
I actually think DJs were the original influencers. You invited them into your home. You invited them into your ear. You built a relationship with them. You understood and trusted the things that were interesting to them.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Call 844-GO-SMILE to learn about the new Lifestyle Smile dental implants from Lasting Smiles.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP. This message furnished by this station.
No reason to trouble yourself by diving into this muck.
Cannonball!
We'll do it for you.
This swamp covers a lot of wet ground.
Swamp Watch with Gary and Shannon.
This is a sewer.
Weekdays at 11:20 on KFI.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're on from 3 until 6. Moist Line. Oh, it's the last call for Moist Line today. Tomorrow is the day. 877-MOIST-86, 877-MOIST-86 are usually talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. I also have new news. We are not only featured on YouTube, we now have live video on X, Twitter. Yes. So you can watch the video on Twitter or X. And that just starts today. Now, this is like a tour of Mayor Bass's colossal failures. And one of the common threads of all her failures is the result has led to a lot of disgusting things. The failure with the homelessness is you have thousands of bodies laying in the streets, and 2,000 of them are dying every year. Whacked out on drugs, victim of their mental illness. And then you go down the road a little bit. Let's say you go down from Skid Row to Boyle Heights, and you just breathe deeply, and you'll run in to what the LA Times says, a thick, nauseating wall of air from that Lineage Logistics warehouse, where they had all the frozen food, big refrigeration warehouse. The 85 million pounds of food. By the way, it's still at 4%. And nobody understands this because the company keeps insisting that they're hauling away a tremendous amount of all these tons of food. And I keep doing the math, and it's like, no, that's still 4%. So they're lying their asses off. Not a surprise. The LA Times did another article on how disgusting it is. Deborah, you'll like this. You know what they have in Boyle Heights? A lot of green flies.
Oh.
Have you ever seen green flies?
No.
I remember as a kid, sometimes if we'd have an outdoor picnic.
Oh, wait. Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Their wings. The wings are green.
Yeah, their heads are green too, like a bright green. And they glisten in the sun.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that's maybe an East Coast fly or.
No, I've seen.
You had them.
Yes, I have. I hate flies. Ugh.
So I thought it's bright green flies. So I'm thinking, I bet you there's a reason those flies are showing up, because normally you don't see them. So I looked online and went to Google. Why am I seeing green flies? Well, green bottle flies, and that's a good name for them because it's the kind of green that if you have a soft drink bottle made of green glass and it glints in the sunlight, it's that same kind of green and reflection. Green bottle flies deposit eggs in decaying tissue, which the larvae feed on after hatching. So what is dead beef, which is we have 85 million pounds of, right? That's decaying tissue. That's decaying animal tissue. So the larvae, the bottle flies are laying the eggs there. Then the larvae hatch out of the eggs and start eating all the decayed meat.
Well, that's one way to get rid of it, I guess.
And then they're flying all over Boyle Heights. And one guy said he briefly walked away from his hamburger.
Oh, no.
His name's Brian Regis. He's manager, I guess, at a restaurant called Exclusive Grills. And he said workers at his shop had set up a small break room, and they blasted a large fan to keep the flies away from their food. So on Monday, Regis said, he briefly walked away from his hamburger when a worker called out to him. And when he walked back, there was a green fly sitting on top of it.
Did he continue eating it?
No, he tossed it out.
Okay, good. Because I know people that eat stuff even when flies land on their food. I do not.
I do.
Ew. Are you kidding?
I've heard I'll brush it. I'll brush the top of the burger roll. Yeah, there's a good burger in there. Oh, no. If it's just on the roll, maybe I'll pull out a little bit of the roll. There's no sense wasting a good burger. But I heard they lay eggs.
They do.
Or they poop.
I heard they poop.
Yeah. So if it lands on your burger, now you either have fly eggs or fly poop. And this poor guy, Regis, he said, it just ruined my day.
Yeah, I get it.
He's got a nice, juicy burger sitting there, leaves for a moment, and here comes the green flies.
His day could have gotten a lot worse if he ate the burger.
So the green bottle flies deposit the eggs in the decaying tissue. The larvae feed on the tissue after hatching. This is why the flies, for you people in Boyle Heights, swarm near and develop in dead animals. Like if you have a dead animal in a crawl space or in an attic or a garage, you see the green fly. In fact, you see green flies swirling on your property, you have a dead animal somewhere. Outside homes, green bottle flies, like trash cans, spilled trash, and animal feces. Oh, so when they land on your burger, they've just come from some animal poop.
That's right. That's why you don't eat food that a fly lands on.
That's right. I've seen this in parks. If somebody drops some dog poop and doesn't clean it up, there's usually green flies on it.
Yes.
Where do these flies come from?
I don't know.
They know right away.
They do.
If there's dead meat, dead animal, poop, they got some kind of news network to let them know. And so this is the feast of all feasts. And can you imagine how many eggs they're laying, and they're all hatching in the meats? And logistics, this lineage logistics company is completely hapless, hopeless. And Bass is hapless and hopeless. They are losing the war to millions of flies because they don't know how to clean this up.
Maybe they just need to blow it up.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe they should just restart the fire and burn what's left.
Absolutely.
And Bass is not, and neither is the state. They're not forcing them to do anything. They're just waiting for the latest action plan. The action plan. Listen to this. The vice president of operations at Lineage, a guy named Alex Rodriguez. Lineage is committed to the fastest and safest cleanup possible. You're full of fly poop. You are not. God, there ought to be green flies swirling around Alex Rodriguez's head. We're taking aggressive efforts to reduce odors and monitor air quality. Monitor air quality. You do the monitoring and it tells you how this. All you have to do is breathe. This is like the homeless story. You don't need statistics. Just look. You don't need air monitors. Just breathe in. Also, there's a lot of cats. In fact, one woman, 70-year-old woman named Sabino Soto, said, oh, it's a guy. He hasn't been able to keep his cat inside for weeks. They're constantly on the hunt. The cat and a dozen others in the neighborhood.
They're looking for the rats.
They're looking for the rats. Oh, I haven't even gotten into the rats. I got something on. The name of the cat, by the way, is Push Push. Push Push keeps pushing. It wants some of those rats.
John.
Yes.
You're making a lot of people sick.
I've heard that before. Here's the lead to the story. Along Union Pacific Avenue in Boyle Heights, rat traps sit every 10 feet along the sidewalk. But Lisette Navarrete, who lives there, says the traps aren't going to work. These are not little house rats. They're giant rats. They don't fit in the traps. Talk to Alex Rodriguez about that, huh? It's our highest priority to provide a safe and fast cleanup. The rats beat you to it, and the flies beat you to it, and you guys don't have a clue. And Bass doesn't have a clue to force them. They are over. The rats and the flies have conspired to totally overwhelm this stupid company and this stupid Bass administration. They're completely helpless. And if the wind shifts ever so slightly, there's a waft of thick, nauseating air that comes from the warehouse.
So somebody has to build almost some kind of tent that will contain any bad lethal chemicals and then just blow that sucker up.
Maybe they just should nuke it.
Well, then there would be some fallout, John, for all of us.
This sounds worse than nuclear radiation.
It really does. There has to be a better way.
And then you need to get even bigger rats. All right. When we come back, there's been a study on how much gas people pass throughout the day. And
what is wrong with you today?
Well,
a study on how. Okay, all right.
Okay,
I'm interested.
It's something that a lot of people wonder about.
I've never ever wondered that, but now I'm curious.
You haven't?
No. Have you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've wondered.
How much gas does the average human pass in a day?
Just ask Chuck Schumer.
That was a lot in that one blast. He used up his day's allotment. All right, we come back. That's the gripping question. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The singer known as David back in court for day 3 of the preliminary hearing in his murder case, and another water leak slowed down traffic this morning in West Hollywood. We'll have more at the top of the hour. From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Crash on the 101 in Encino.
This one has been reported on the northbound side coming up on Havenhurst. Second lane from the left is blocked, possibly the 2 left lanes. So watch for some slow traffic getting out of Sherman Oaks. I'm seeing a backup away from Woodman. The drive on the southbound side of the 101, that slows overall out of Calabasas from Las Virgenes and stretches to the 170, 134 split. And ahead in Hollywood from Santa Monica Boulevard into downtown Los Angeles. It's also slow moving across that 91 freeway. Eastbound delays leaving the 110. You're on the brakes and stretches all the way to Green River. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, the system is rigged against you, and Sweet James is here to fix it. Don't take on the legal system alone. Sweet James has helped thousands of injured accident victims get back what their accident took from them. Call Sweet James Accident Attorneys for a free case review. You call 1-800-9-MILLION or go to sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
A tough blow for the Carolina Panthers as second-year linebacker Nick Squirton could miss the season after tearing the ACL in his right knee today. Free agent wideout Tyreek Hill vows to return to the NFL. Despite having no power in his surgically repaired left leg, Hill was waived by Miami earlier this year. Chris Sale fanned 11, matching his season high in the Braves' home victory over the Padres today. I'm Frank Aaron.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Protect your retirement with gold and silver. Call Golden Crest Metals, 888-447-7857.
With July being National Baked Bean Month, Ma said that if I win the Chevy Silverado at Morongo, I'll finally have a place to sleep after dinner. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
We're giving away a Chevy Silverado truck. Earn entries now, and you could drive off a winner the 26th.
Number 4.
The Oasis Pool is paradise when Green Today plays the music of Green Day, August 6th. Free for Morongo Rewards members.
3.
Chico Bean's got jokes, and he's bringing them to Morongo on August 8th. Get tickets now.
And the number 2.
Don't pay high prices for gas. Morongo's Travel Center prices are the lowest priced gas around.
And the number 1 reason.
The hottest nighttime pool party in SoCal. Live DJ, drinks, dancing, Flamingo Fridays is on.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good time.
Curious how you would look? PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com. PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked
In buildings, stay ready. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit Pfizerforall.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Here's good news for folks who have a jumbo loan. The Loan Exchange, America's jumbo lender, is offering a 30-year fixed rate loan at a 5.75% interest rate and 5.939% APR for loan amounts up to $3 million. So if you have a mortgage with an interest rate of 6% or higher, give America's jumbo lender a call at 833-436-8800. You drive around to find the cheapest gas, so why not refinance your mortgage? Every day you wait, you're wasting money on needless interest. Go to theloanexchange.com or call 833-436-8800 to find out what your savings will be with a new 30-year fixed rate loan at 5.75% interest rate and 5.939% APR. NMLS 1637539. Loan subject to credit approval. See website for licensing information, loan terms and conditions. Equal housing lender. That's theloanexchange.com or call 833-436-8800 for a 30-year fixed rate loan at 5.75% interest rate and 5.939% APR.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, would you want to live to be 156 years old? Well, a new study shows humans could theoretically reach that age. Just listen to Handel on the Lot. No, I need some help. That's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 a.m. on the next Bill Handel Show.
John Kobylt Show, KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. We're live on YouTube, and we're now live on X, also known as Twitter. So you could watch us. And coming up after 4 o'clock, we got Adam Housley coming on. Adam Housley, who has his own news site on Substack. And he has sources with the FBI. And there's been a lot of recent action in the Jennifer and Gavin investigation. And it may be coming to a head. He put out a long series of tweets last night and has written an article on his Substack page. And we will talk to him about it. And maybe we're getting close to something big. Don't know for sure. All right. This is an actual bit of scientific research. And before you scoff, you know, your tax money could be involved in this. All right. This is the University of Maryland. And they decided to go to Australia to count how much gas is passed by 6,400 people in Australia. You know, if you have a child and you're very proud of him because he goes to college and he's working as a researcher and maybe he's getting his master's, his doctorate, right? This might be what he's doing. He's flying to Australia and they're measuring the gas that people produce. The researchers invented something. Now, this sounds something like something you'd see on Shark Tank. It's called smart underwear. It's a device that snaps onto your underwear and the sensors track the farts automatically. Now, they also had an option. They created something that you could insert inside your rectum to measure the gas, but they didn't go with that.
Gee, I wonder why.
See, they were trying to figure out how to do this because people often hold it in and then release it in a more socially acceptable place.
Okay.
Right. You don't do it. Well, they're trying to figure out how many times you do pass gas.
But what's the point of this?
It's knowledge. What else would be the point?
I don't know. I mean, are we trying to figure out what we're doing with the gas? I mean, there has to be a reason.
The methane adds to global warming.
Okay, but I thought that was just cow farts.
And you know we look. There's some people here as big as a cow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, They gave participants a smartphone app where they could log their toots, is the way they wrote it here, as soon as it's released. Okay. And the app was designed to be discreet, so everyone around you wouldn't have a clue.
Well, what about the smell?
Nothing you can do about that. That's where you're supposed to go in another room. So on average, people fart 5 times a day. But the median number was 3.8, which means there are some people who pass a lot of gas, and that drives up the average number. And almost 80% record between 2 and 7 a day, which seems low to me, doesn't it?
How many times do you fart a day?
More than 2 to 7.
Oh, God. And I go in there?
Now, look at this. Men record more farts than women, but not by much. I thought there'd be a big gap. 5.2 to 4.8 on average.
This is fascinating.
There's a lot of people riveted right now.
I'm sure.
Okay.
They're pulled over because they don't want to miss anything.
And this settles a lot of arguments that people have. For example, the age group that farts the most is ages 26 to 45. The youngest, ages 14 to 25, had the least amount of farts, 4.4 on average. Now, researchers said they didn't get enough data from folks ages 65 and up. I guess you get so constipated as you get older. There's not much of a sample there. What do you think the peak times are? You could go by personal experience.
I don't fart, so.
Well, okay. Now that you said that. Well, the peak times are right after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But there's one more thing before we do the news.
Yeah.
You must. Because according to this research, the foods that can cause the most gas, because they ferment in your colon: beans, lentils, broccoli, Brussels sprouts.
I eat all of those.
That a lot, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you eat lentils like 3 times a day. And so they go in your colon, and you are fermenting
Okay.
all day and all night.
All right.
So
Well, I'm not farting here.
I'm very.
Am I?
I don't know.
You're in here a lot.
I don't think I've ever heard one. Not one single toot.
Good.
You're going to explode one day if you're holding them in.
Oh, God.
All right, we come back.
That was just riveting,
Thank you.
riveting topic.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
You know,
I learned so much.
We only put out the best material.
Yes.
All right, Adam Housley coming on. There's more news on the Newsom investigation. Adam has a lot of sources in the FBI and in the federal government, and details. Could be something big is coming. Could be. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Not getting a break. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The National Weather Service says the heat wave we're having will keep temperatures elevated in many parts of Southern California at night. From now until Sunday is expected to be the hottest stretch of the next week or so. LA County Fire Department spokesperson Gary Lauritsen says their station in Santa Clarita is staffing up because of the conditions.
Extra personnel staffed right now just because of the potential for fires right now.
The Weather Service says heat advisories will stick around until 8 p.m. Monday. David Burke, the singer known as David, is back in court for day 3 of that preliminary hearing in his murder case. ABC's Alex Stone says the judge seems to want to speed things up.
They have a few more witnesses to call. Question's going to be if there will be any rebuttal witnesses, if the defense is going to put anybody up. We expect that there will be an almost immediate decision to move this forward to trial.
Prosecutors say David killed the teenager to stop her from exposing their alleged sexual relationship. He's pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Criminal defense lawyer Allison Treasel told KTLA if the judge sends David to trial, the prosecution will review its case.
The prosecution is going to evaluate the strengths of the witnesses that testified, figure out what additional evidence they need.
The LA County DA's office is expected to decide later whether to ask for the death penalty against the singer who's being kept in jail without bail. The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. Another water leak slowed down traffic this morning in West Hollywood. The leak was reported on Santa Monica Boulevard at Laurel Avenue. Some businesses there were affected. But Vice Mayor Danny Hang told KTLA this was not a pipe break.
It was contained within an hour or so. The businesses are in the process of being notified. And initial assessments are that it was a valve leak.
He says the leak is not related to the break on Sunset last week, which is still shut down because of repair work. Hollywood's comeback is still a work in progress.
A new report from Film LA shows on-location production in Los Angeles fell nearly 13% during the second quarter compared with last year.
And hopefully in future quarters see the numbers looking even better.
Film LA's Philip Sokolowski says television activity jumped more than 34% from the previous quarter because of the film and TV tax credit.
We saw a near doubling of the number of shoot days in the TV dramas category related to that program.
He says this report shows things are moving in the right direction, albeit slower than most people would like. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
Nonprofit group Food and Water Watch says a decision by SoCal Gas to drop its plans to move forward with its Angeles Link project shows just how shaky the hydrogen economy really is. SoCal Gas had planned to build pipelines to move hydrogen across LA and other parts of Southern California. Food and Water Watch spokesperson Madeline Bove says that SoCal Gas's decision to quietly shelve the project is a win for people who don't want dangerous hydrogen pipelines in their communities. President Trump has announced the major utility companies are pledging to pay for the increased electricity costs of AI data centers. The goal is to reduce the burden of possible higher electric bills for the average customer while still keeping an edge in the race to develop and expand artificial intelligence. And the toy company that began with Mr. Potato Head is pulling out of video games and going old school.
Hasbro became the largest toy company in the world in the mid-1980s with Transformers and G.I. Joe. A few years ago, it released Monopoly Go as part of its movement into video games. Its latest financial report, though, says the toy maker made more than $500 million from its Magic the Gathering card game in just the last 3 months. It was also the first brand in the company to make $1 billion annually back in 2023. Hasbro said a year ago it was developing its own video games, but this week it said it canceled many of those games and is cutting back spending on video games by at least 25% a year. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Going to the 10 next.
Picture this. You're at work and your phone buzzes and it's your kid's number. Pick it up and it's your kid's voice. And your son's panicked. He's saying he's been in an accident. He needs money wired right away. And of course, you're going to do everything you can, right? Well, that's what a scammer is counting on. Because that's not your son's voice. The scammers have cloned it with AI from a video he put online. The criminals buy your information from data brokers so they can phone you, and then they play the AI voice, and they make the call, and they get your money. Now, you can't stop them from cloning your voice, but you can make sure they never get your number in the first place, and that's done with Incogni's help. Incogni, I-N-C-O-G-N-I. I use it. It contacts hundreds of data brokers and forces them to delete your personal information and then keeps it off the internet. Go to incogni.com/KFI. Use the promo code KFI and save 60%. That's incogni.com/KFI. Promo code KFI.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny tomorrow, highs mid-80s to mid-90s for Metro LA, triple digits for the valleys and the IE. Windy again in the IE, mid-90s to triple digits in the high desert and windy again. Mid-70s to low 80s for the beaches, mid to upper 80s inland OC. Right now, 85 in Tustin, it's 72 in Laguna Beach. 97 in Chatsworth, it's 94 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supershore. Supershore.com, one super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed down 507. S&P 500 down 91 and NASDAQ down 553. Stall on the 10 in Mid-City.
This one's along the eastbound side at National. Right lane has been blocked. Delays are backing up out of Santa Monica, leaving 20th Street beyond the scene of the stall. The 10 eastbound remains slow all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. The westbound side of the 10 slows from the 5 heading to the 110. Better after that across Mid-City into Santa Monica. In El Segundo, the 105 eastbound, we're seeing delays. You know, it's loading up and then it's thinning out from about Sepulveda Boulevard through the 405. But from the 405 across Hawthorne into the 605. You're on and off the brakes that whole stretch. It's also tough in Corona, the 15 southbound, leaving the 91 freeway, looking better past Wyrick Road. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Would you take 15 seconds to save 15% to freshen your breath? Go to Zellmans.com and use the code SAVE. That's ZELMINS.com. Use the code SAVE for fresh, clean breath for hours.
If you run a business, you know the value of trust. It's what keeps your customers coming back. And it's what you get when you advertise with iHeart. More than 75% of listeners consider iHeart hosts their friends and trust their recommendations. Now take that trusted influence and combine it with iHeart's massive reach and scale, and you've got the formula for growing your business. Learn how easy it is to tell your story through our voices today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. The John Kobylt Show. Hey there. We're on every day from 3 until 6. And if you miss stuff, we had a lot of good material last hour between all the green flies and rats going through Boyle Heights. And we also talked about the other big failure. Homelessness numbers are up 3.5% in Los Angeles. So Bass has whiffed on that. She's whiffed on cleaning up Boyle Heights. There's still 82 million pounds of dead, rotting meat there. It's quite a bad week. I mean, you got all that flooding going on in West Hollywood. You have, the 80 million pounds of rotting meat. You've got an increase in homelessness. Still very slow progress in the Palisades. The city has never been in worse shape physically that you could see with your eye and smell with your nose. So you want to listen to that in the first hour. Let me talk with Adam Housley now. Adam, known for a long time, many years at Fox News, and he now has his own Substack.com news site. Does his own independent investigations. And he has been getting a lot of information in the last few months about the investigation into Gavin and Jennifer Newsom. Let's go to Adam and see what he's learned. Adam, how are you?
Good, John. How you doing? LA's a little rough. Napa's pretty nice right now. I ain't going to lie. You don't smell any meat. There's no flooding. You got grapes everywhere, wine. I mean, it's kind of hard to pass up.
Adam, when he's not doing investigations, runs the family winery up, and we've been up to your tasting room, and that is a beautiful place.
Had fun.
Yeah, no, I think back to the last time we were there quite often, and I want to get back and have some more of that wine too. You've got good stuff. What was it? Now let me ask you about what you've learned. You put out a long series of tweets last night, and then you kind of summarized it all in an article today on your Substack. Talk about what have you learned?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of information that's been coming out. I think it's interesting to see what's being leaked. I think the leak is coming from possible defense locations, meaning people that might defend whoever might be indicted. But I'm told that this case is pretty massive, that it's a very large net, and that if it indeed is what we've been told is true, which is a 2-year wire, that's pretty impressive. That means that every 30 days, basically, the FBI or whoever was doing the investigation, which is the FBI, would have to go back to a judge and show proof that this is a very strong case and that the wire needs to be renewed. And that's a lot, 20 some odd times it would have to have been done. And that means they'd had evidence every single time or something that the judge would have to be convinced to do this. And this is not a wire you would physically wear. This is their ability to basically monitor everything, which we believe is the First Lady's phone records and anything digital. So that then widens this net pretty big. So, and then the other question I have is, did the governor have her do the talking? Was he a part of all this? I mean, did he stay back? I mean, there's a lot going on here, John, but the FBI, from what I've been told from people that are very well in the know, is that they have a very strong case. That right now it's about, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, making sure everything is airtight before they go out with anything. I've told the interviews is done. The evidence is compiled. They're doing a timeline report, and this is a big conspiracy case, John. And they know that this is a politically damaging story, and that it's a big deal, and that they have to make sure that there are no mistakes here. And it could also extend into Beccerra and his staff. So this is this net, which, obviously the Newsoms like to say it started during Trump. This net started during, at least we know of the first case in 2021. And there's been at least 3 cases. I believe that all of them have been combined into one. I don't know that for sure, but I believe that's what they've done, and that's what they usually do. And I guess the only question for me now is how many people are going to be possibly named, and does this come out before the elections? That's really the only thing I believe is left.
And what kind of potential crimes seems to be the target of this investigation?
I'm told it's financial. I'm told it's financial, and that when you have the financial crimes unit and possibly even the IRS involved, there's no joke going on here. I mean, that's remember they got Al Capone on that years ago. I mean, when the IRS and the financial part of this is included in the investigation, that's where it gets really tough on someone who's a defendant. Now, obviously, everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but I'm told this is all about tax fraud, and that there's at least one person that's flipped, and possibly multiple people that have flipped.
People who worked with or for Gavin and Jennifer Newsom.
Around them, or people that might be indicted on this around the people that might be indicted. So this is a pretty big case. It might even stretch. I say Napa. I was joking around earlier, but there were a couple of cases here that were grabbed by the FBI in the last year or two, and there is some possibility that too was pulled into this big case. The FBI was looking at some stuff over here with some other folks involved in some deals in the Napa area, and there's been some talk that also, because they obviously have connections here as well, that also might be pulled into the whole thing. What's also interesting, there's a bigger thing in play here too, and that is, if you talk to my Democratic contacts in D.C., a lot of them the last year or two were kind of over California Democrats. They were like, listen, it's time for the East Coast to step up for a bit, because you've had Pelosi, you've had Gavin, obviously, gallivanting around running for president the last 3 years. You've got Dianne Feinstein, obviously, was well respected, but she was involved in a long time. Barbara Boxer before her, and you had obviously Kamala. You have a lot of California Democrats who've kind of they've ascended to the front of the party, and not only are they battling within the Democratic Party about the Democratic Socialists and the progressives with the Blue Dogs, but you also have a lot of folks on the East Coast that I know personally that are like, listen, we're kind of sick of California Democrats. It's time for somebody else to come through. So all this is coming into play. It's going to be really interesting to see, what the DOJ comes out with and when they come out with it.
Of all the facts you just went through, what's fascinating to me, and I didn't know this, is that once you start monitoring phone calls and text messages and emails, you have to go back to that judge every 30 days and demonstrate that it's not a fishing expedition, because that's the line that Jennifer and Gavin have been using. It's a fishing expedition, but you really can't do those, because every 30 days you get a report to the judge, and 24 times in a row they've said, no, keep going. You can keep monitoring their communications.
Right. And that's not easy to do. I mean, like I said, especially when you have politicians involved, and the court a lot of times is going to side on generally our rights, right, over the rights of the government to surveil. Funny enough, I covered some of the stuff that happened in unmasking back during the last 2 administrations ago. I was spied on. Other of my colleagues were spied on. There's that word, back then they had to go to the court as well, and that was a FISA court, so something kind of similar. Difference there is the FISA court would always like, oh yeah, you can do it, we trust you. This is a little bit different. The FBI has to go to not a FISA court, but an actual court and talk to a judge that wants to see what you have. They don't just say, yeah, you can go ahead and keep doing it. It has to be brought in front of them. Hey, here's what we got. Here's why we need to do this in another 30 days. And that's a big deal. I mean, those things aren't easy to continue unless you got something.
And one more thing before we go. Newsom has hired a heavy hitter lawyer, Abby Lowell. Talk about the significance of him being Newsom's defense lawyer right now.
I was told that when that hire happened, that it shows that the governor and his wife and those around him know how significant this investigation is. Abby Lowell has represented Hunter Biden, Letitia Jones. I mean, Hunter Biden's the biggest one most recently. When he's involved or when they're involved, that law firm's involved, that automatically says this is some serious stuff. In fact, one of my very close sources says if I ever get in trouble, which I'm not planning on doing, that's the person I would hire immediately.
Great reporting. Adam Housley, he's got a Substack, and he spells his name Housley, adamhousley.substack.com. He's also on all the social media sites, and he's got a lengthy Twitter stream from last night, and you could read it in bites, or you could read the summary. Good stuff. I can't wait to find the next chapter.
Thanks, but I appreciate the support, and you keep up the good work, and try to, I'm not sure if you're gonna have to boat home because of the water main break, or maybe you have your own helicopter you can fly out to where to Malibu.
We got everything. We got the fires, we got the rats, the flies, the floods. Now that you put Napa Valley in my head. We got to get up there.
I was in LA for 17 years. I'm like, what the heck? I left, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh, hell, what the hell happened down there?
Everything has happened.
Yes.
All right, Adam, we'll talk with you soon.
All
right, Adam Housley. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The LA DWP insists it's on track to reopen a stretch of Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood, even though a new problem popped up this morning. And the Secret Service confirms a member of Vice President Vance's protective detail has been put on paid leave. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, heading over to the 6:05 next.
Being hurt in an accident is like a punch in the gut that you never saw coming. And the attorneys at Sweet James know the agony, the disruption, sometimes the devastation that you go through. Sweet James has spent 25 years fighting for injured accident victims. They have the experience and the reputation, and they care, and they're going to help you make your comeback. They have helped thousands of people recover when an accident has changed their life. They've won over $1 billion. They can't guarantee the outcome. But you want a law firm like Sweet James on your side when you need someone the most. The number is 800-9-million, 800-9-million, with an office in Los Angeles. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, you call the attorneys at Sweet James, and you pay nothing until they win. Call 800-9-million, 800-9-million, 800-9-000-000, sweetjames.com.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 605 in Hawaiian Gardens.
This one is along that northbound side of the 605, and looks like they may have just cleared it out of lanes coming up on Carson Street. Left lane was blocked at last check, but delays are still backing up away from the 405. Also, we're heading into Mid-City. They got rid of the stall on the 10 eastbound at National. Traffic still tough out of Santa Monica, leaving 20th Street. And let's also look at the Cajon Pass. This is the 15, making your way northbound. Delays away from Glen Helen Parkway all the way to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
I recently opened up a new account at Infinity Bank in Orange County, and it was the easiest process to switch banks. You call my guy, he's the president, Victor Guerrero. He's not only my guy, he's your guy. You call him at 657-223-1000, 657-223-1000, Infinity Bank.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports. Presented by Capital One. The Indiana Fever's Caitlin Clark graces the cover of the latest edition of the NBA 2K video game, joining the NBA's Victor Wembanyama and NBA legend Derrick Rose. Unlike previous WNBA cover girls, including Diana Taurasi and Angel Reese, Clark is the first W player to appear on a global cover, not the WNBA-specific edition of the game. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcast. Capital One is a founding partner of iHeart Women's Sports Network. With the Capital One Spark Cash Plus card, you earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase for your business. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/Spark Cash Plus for details.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Have questions about plastic surgery? Get trusted answers from Dr. Raban at PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the good
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffered with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. It changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try. We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Book your 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise with Norwegian Cruise Line. It's different out here.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
I am looking at this dish that I'm going to taste right now. It's sexy as hell, for one. It screams rustic, delicious. Yeah. The minute you see it, you say, not only is that beautiful, but I want that in my pie hole right now.
The Fork Report with Neil Saavedra, Saturday afternoon at 2 on KFI. And on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
A lot of apps like to say they're free until they ask for your credit card. iHeartRadio is different. No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges. We make money from our advertisers, not from you. It's the same radio you've never paid for. Live radio stations, playlists, podcasts, and artist stations, all in one app. So if you haven't already, download the free iHeartRadio app. Free radio. Always has been, always will be. Now wherever you go.
iHeartRadio. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Imagine having a job where the boss is always watching or listening to everything you do.
Yeah, I think I can imagine that.
Right. But imagine your job is getting people help when they're dying. Do you want the boss judging you?
Who's getting hassled for taking too long to rescue people? It's tomorrow starting at noon. Monks and Merrill, and always on demand when you subscribe to the podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
We got $1,000 for you now.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Green. That's GREEN. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI. Green. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. If you win, you get an email. Check your junk and spam folder. And there's a new winning keyword every hour, every weekday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday through Friday. Next chance to win with us here at 5:20 on KFI. That's fascinating stuff from Adam Housley. Adam, Fox News correspondent for many years, and now he has his own news site at Substack. Just go to it, and you can read. He wrote a 2-page summary summarizing all the tweets that he wrote late last night. He's got some really good sources in the FBI, the Department of Justice, and it looks like this is a real serious investigation into Jennifer and Gavin Newsom, and they may have people very close to the Newsoms who have flipped to turn evidence. And what's interesting is Adam put out, I don't know, maybe a dozen tweets last night, 10, 12 tweets. And usually Newsom or those sniveling little jerks in his press office, they will respond to criticism with all kinds of stupid, snarky, fifth grade insults and dead quiet. I don't see anything from Newsom, anything from the toddlers in his press office to any of Adam's reports. He has periodically put out this tweet storm and then has written further on Substack for the last few months, and not one pushback from anyone in the Newsom circle. And Abby Lowell is a heavy hitter for Democrats in legal trouble. I used to say that you can always tell if somebody's guilty criminally if they have Mark Garagos as the attorney. Mark Garagos is the last resort for a guilty killer. Well, Abby Lowell is like the last resort if you're involved in some kind of criminal, political crime. And it's got to be taxes, money laundering, that whole thing that Jennifer Newsom has between her nonprofit and for-profit company and the feminist films and all the donations she was getting from Gavin's donors. They've got 2 years worth of intercepts on her phone calls and emails. And I got to stress this. We talked about this a couple of times with Adam. You can't really do fishing expeditions that last more than a few days, because to get a wiretap, you got to keep going back to the judge every 30 days. And the judge has to say yes. And then you got to bring him the new stuff. And the judge says yes. And the new stuff. And the judge says yes. And they did this 24 times. And it's not just a body wire. I mean, maybe somebody wore a body wire, but these were intercepts. And so there's nobody who's going to get caught wearing a microphone. This is the FBI, the Department of Justice, IRS. Every time you use your email, every time you make a phone call, and you're going to have both parties on the phone. Not only Jennifer, but if Gavin's on the phone, he says something, now he's opened himself up to further investigation. And the staff members of Jennifer and Gavin and the friends. Apparently, it may spill into Beccerra's office. So we've been talking about this. This is like the homeless story in a way where Bass put out all kinds of lies about the homeless numbers going down. And I said, no, use your eyes. And they could put out all their BS in Boyle Heights. Use your nose. Same thing here. Use your eyes and nose. Look at all the donations that Gavin and Jennifer take in from people doing business, looking for favors from the two of them. Millions and millions of dollars they've taken in. Look at the money getting funneled from PG&E into her feminist nonprofits and for-profits. Look how she walked off with $4 million. Look at the big break that PG&E got from the state after they killed 85 people and burned down the town of Paradise. This is all connected here, and you just had to look with your own eyes every day and just sniff the air. Now, the idea that Gavin and or Jennifer could be indicted, arrested, while Newsom is supposed to be running for president, and the idea that it might leak into Beccerra's office is astounding. So if they've been doing this for several years, and if they go forward with it, with these big campaigns coming up, and Newsom's got Abby Lowell, there's something real. There's something really criminal and crooked that they've been involved in. And it's exactly what they deserve. There's no way the government would waste 2 years, 3 years or more investigating all this and going back to a judge 24 times unless there was something incredibly criminal going on with their taxes, their finances, the money laundering, the nonprofits, the donations, something in that mess. Deborah Mark is live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
The LADWP insists it's on track to reopen a stretch of Sunset Boulevard in West Hollywood that was damaged by a major water main break by tomorrow. That's despite a new pinhole leak that caused water to bubble up in the sinkhole the agency was already backfilling. It says crews have continued repaving and striping Sunset Boulevard today while working to fix the pinhole leak at the east end of the worksite. DWP officials say they're working with the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California, LA County Public Works, and other utilities to protect underground infrastructure. The news is brought to you by American Vision Windows. An LA homeless nonprofit has paid more than $1.7 million to companies owned by its CEO.
A Step to Freedom gave money to the companies over a 3-year period. In 2018, it was providing about 20 men with shelter each year. By 2024, it was serving about 200 people and collecting more than $5 million in revenue, mostly taxpayer funded. CEO Kenya Kroom says its mission is to house and feed homeless people coming out of jail in LA County. Kroom has defended the contracts, saying her companies provide meals, snacks, and beverages to residents at a cheaper price than what outside vendors would have charged. Nonprofit experts say it poses serious conflict of interest risks. Amy King, KFI News.
The Dodgers have been honored at the White House today for winning the 2025 World Series.
For a second year in a row, the Dodgers held to the longtime tradition that honors World Series champions. The ceremony took place in the Rose Garden with players, team leaders, and politicians on hand. President Trump congratulated the team.
I'm thrilled to say welcome back to the White House, and maybe I'll see you again next year, I hope.
The visit didn't come without criticism from some fans and immigrant rights advocates. Mookie Betts and Kike Hernandez didn't join the team for the visit, but both gave reasons that were not political. Eileen Gonzalez, KFI News.
The Secret Service confirms a member of Vice President J.D. Vance's protective detail has been put on paid leave. ABC's Catherine Falder says it comes a week after a story was published about Vance's detail being fed up with quickly arranged trips.
And they said they won't comment on the specifics, but they say any conduct that potentially threatens the safety of a protectee will not be tolerated.
She says it's believed the Secret Service agent is being investigated for possibly leaking the information. We are going to go to the 605 next.
GiveMeTheVin.com, where you can still sell your car in a hot minute. Why don't you try it? Enter your VIN number, get an offer fast. GiveMeTheVin.com. Their offers beat CarMax and Carvana offers every day. And if they can't do it, they're going to pay $100. GiveMeTheVin.com. You will get your check on the spot. Super easy, super fast. GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hot again tomorrow. Highs mid-80s to mid-90s. Metro LA. Triple digits in the valleys in the IE. Windy again in the IE. Mid-90s to triple digits in the high desert and windy. Mid-70s to low 80s at the beaches. Mid to upper 80s for inland OC. Right now 83 in San Juan Capistrano and 89 in Staten. Going back to the 605 in Long Beach.
This is a crash on the northbound side. This is just past Spring Street. They were blocking the carpool in left lane. They are now out of lanes. All lanes open on that 605 northbound, which is great because the drive is a huge mess coming off of the 605 or off of the 405, that is, and the 405 northbound. Overall slowing, it's packing in out of Huntington Beach from Beach Boulevard, and it's also just starting to back up on the 22 westbound as well. Now, let's check out the 605 northbound out of Norwalk. Delays leaving the 105 freeway all the way to the 10. And I'm looking at Pasadena East 210, slows from the 134, delays and stretches all the way to the 15 freeway. That 15 really is filling in northbound into the Cajon Pass. Delays loading up at Glen Helen Parkway to the 138. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Do you know what keeps people from getting the California dreamin' they need every night? Pain. Because 63% of people say their sleep is impacted by aches and pains.
Right, Dad. It's called painsomnia. So if pain has you tossing and turning, turn to Sit and Sleep. Right now, save up to $1,000 on the best brands and get a Tempur-Pedic starting at just $56 a month.
So say goodnight to painsomnia at the home of California Dreamin'. Sit and Sleep.
California Dreamin'. It's your home equity. Shouldn't you be able to access it?
Well, the bank said otherwise.
When HELOC said no, Splatero said go. There's only a 500 minimum credit score and no income requirement. And you keep your existing mortgage rate. Visit Splatero.com today.
Love your legs again. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Fix your termite problem with no move out. Seen termite droppings or discarded wings? Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free inspection. If needed, get no tent, no gas treatment with a 2-year warranty. Call today and they'll be there within 5 days. Call 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen Kay is a brand new podcast. Heartbreak, hope, and a whole lot of what would you do? Stream now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Tap into Happy Hour with half-price pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
Toyota's We Make It Easy sales event is here to keep your summer moving. Get great deals on Toyotas built for any summer adventure, like the all-hybrid Camry, with efficiency and style that never cools down. Tacoma, with the power to take your summer to new heights. Or RAV4 Hybrid, with the versatility and range for all your plans. Don't miss great deals on Toyota's most popular models. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
What can you do at Toyota.com? Better question, what can't you do? Because at Toyota.com, you can check out our latest models, search our inventory, and see our latest offers. You can even build and price your new Toyota right online, picking the exact model and color that's right for you. Whether you just want to download a brochure or you're ready to buy, all things Toyota are at Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
Edible headlines from around the world.
Nom Nom News on the Fork Report.
Saturdays at 4 on KFI.
Yeah, fine. AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. Oh, we're going to announce the winner? Okay. We don't have a name, though, do we? No, okay. But yesterday in the 5 o'clock hour, we did the cash contest, and a listener to this show won. It's a national contest. And this person broke through and won $1,000. See? It's real. So when I tell you to call and I give you the word, call, and we'll get the name shortly. But they're $1,000 richer just for listening to this. You wouldn't think this nonsense would pay money, would be profitable for you, but it is. So anyway, congratulations to this mystery person. Oh, and tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we're going to have a live stream. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. That's where you could watch me now. And tomorrow at 11 o'clock, every once in a while, we do a special live stream. And tomorrow's the day at 11 o'clock. And the big innovation is not only we're on YouTube, but we're on X as of today, Twitter. You can watch the video on that platform if that works for you better. And the live stream will be on X as well tomorrow. All right. We're expanding into the new world. You remember George Gascon? Well, it's been a long time since we mentioned his name. Ever since Nathan Hochman beat him, I guess 2 years ago. Gascon, people died because of George Gascon when he was district attorney. He was the most bizarre, just, I have never seen anybody so committed. Like I've read about these people. I've heard about them in other cities, but I've never lived in a city where a district attorney, the chief law enforcement officer for the entire county, was so committed to releasing the worst, most violent, most predatory criminals in our society. You know, it's well known that a very small number of people commit most of the crimes, especially the violent crimes. And I don't really understand why, if somebody is that dangerous and has done such terrible things, why we can't lock them up or preferably kill them. I don't understand the emotion people have, the passions people have for that. Because this is the scum in our society, the debris. This is these are the garbage people. And they exist to harm us. And I've never cared what their story is. I don't care if they were born with a psychotic brain or that they inhaled some kind of chemical when they were babies, or whatever the sob story is. I don't care. You just look at what they do to people, and often how many times they've done it. It's simple. Just, there's a cage, get a lock, forget about them. Let them rot, let them die. I mean, it just seems logical to me. That's what you do. Then Gascon comes and comes up with all kinds of crazy ways to let criminals out, not prosecute criminals. I mean, it was so imaginative on his part. And what he did is he demoted and tried to destroy the careers of the best prosecutors in LA County. Prosecutors have been around for decades who got some of the most notorious, most famous criminals put away in prison. Well, the day of reckoning is here. And some of those deputies went to court, sued, and are getting settlements from the county for millions of dollars. LA County has approved $14 million in legal payouts to 10 prosecutors. Gascon and the snakes and rats in his administration demoted or retaliated against them if they ever questioned his criminal justice reforms, which is a horrible term, whether they did it publicly or privately. Not only $14 million in reparations, $3 million in legal fees. And that's just for the first 10 prosecutors. There's 9 more settlements that await approval by the LA County supervisors. And several of these people we had on the show frequently telling us what was going on. In fact, I'm sure their statements on our show contributed to the demotions and discipline that they suffered. And John Lewin is one of them. He prosecutes cold cases. He was the longest-serving member of the elite major crimes division. He would do the most complex, most difficult cold cases. And they took him out of his office, and he became a calendar prosecutor in Inglewood because he'd written internal memos outlining his opinions that Gascon's policies were illegal and unethical. And he emailed Gascon's administration, publicly denounced Gascon. He came on our show and did that. And Lewin told supervisors, you're going to make me sue you, which I don't want to do. Just send me back to major crimes. He'd worked there since 1994. And get this, John Lewin hadn't lost a case in a quarter of a century. And Gascon demoted him to some desk job in Inglewood. So now the LA County Board of Supervisors is going to pay him almost $3 million. And he's back to handling the cold cases. Lewin said the transfer was designed to humiliate me. It was designed to take away what I love to do. I'm still very angry that Gascon and his upper administration have not been held accountable. Yeah, there should be some way to railroad Gascon and his staff into prison for what they did. Maria Ramirez ran for district attorney, and she spoke out against Gascon. She got demoted, going from supervising hundreds of people to 11. And the county gave her $700,000 in a settlement. And John Hatami, who we had on frequently, a really good guy, he ran for DA. I think he came in third, right, behind Nathan Hochman in Gascon. He was the one who prosecuted Gabriel Fernandez. And there was a big Netflix series. By the way, a lot of this information is coming from a new news website in Los Angeles. And this site seems really good. LAMaterial.com. LAMaterial.com. He got a $1.5 million settlement. He spoke out against Gascon, denied a promotion, passed over for assignments on complex child abuse cases, like the Gabriel Fernandez case. He was defamed by Gascon, he says, and Gascon's weasel spokesperson, because Gascon had a set of mental patients as spokespeople, just like Newsom does. And Hatami has said, I asked for an apology and a retraction. That's it. Gascon refused. The county refused. Yeah, the county supervisors, those silly ladies, they screwed over all these prosecutors. They never criticized or challenged Gascon. I guess they agreed that the best prosecutors ought to be put on a back bench because they had the gall to want to prosecute the worst criminals and the worst child abusers and child killers. Those 5 women. Holy mackerel. So this is good news. This is good news that they're getting some compensation here, some reparations, and that they're all back on the job. And, I wish Gascon would rot in jail. You notice how quiet he's gotten? I guess he's living off his fat pension. Boy, he was an oily, destructive snake and a coward, too, because he came to the station once. I think we had a video online about that.
We did.
And somebody introduced me to him, and he backed away so fast.
That was great.
I just wish he backed all the way out this window here. That would have been better. Shook his hand. His hand was slimy. And I said, come on, you could have the whole show. No. They are terrible cowards because he can't defend this stuff. And look at that. He's cost them $14 million in payouts now. And these are only half the cases and another $3 million in legal fees. That's our money. Why doesn't Gascon pay this? All right. We'll continue. Got Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The heat has intensified here in Southern California, and President Trump says his latest initiative to build AI data centers won't mean that we're going to pay higher energy costs. We will have more at the top of the hour, going to the 4:05 next.
When you sign your insurance policy, for some brokers, for them, that's the finish line. They give you a handshake, they take their commission, and they're done. They're out of there. And you may never hear from them again, or at least not until it's time for renewal. In the meantime, your business is running all year, along with the gaps in your insurance that you might not be aware of, and you're taking that risk. And so I'm telling you about SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, the HR manager, the whole thing can be too complicated just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, and all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access tools like fine print facts, and that translates your current policy into plain English, so you can see what's covered and what's not. Plus a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth. You know exactly what needs protecting. Supersure.com. One super agency, one powerful platform, all your policies one place. Go to supersure.com, supersure.com.
Paid for by Supersure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be hot again tomorrow. Highs ranging from the 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 405 in Sherman Oaks.
This one is along the northbound side, and there's a couple things going on here. First of all, a crash just past Burbank Boulevard, off to the right shoulder, and right there at Burbank Boulevard, there's some type of cement blocks in the roadway, so possibly this car smacked into those cement blocks and now is off to the shoulder. But the last seen blocks were in the middle lane. Overall slowing for that 405 northbound, backing up all the way out of Culver City, getting away from Venice Boulevard. Let's also take a look at the drive in Calabasas. South 101 loading up at Lost Hills. Delays and stretches all the way to the 170-134 split and ahead in Hollywood from Santa Monica Boulevard into downtown Los Angeles. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Lasting Smiles dental implants. If your mouth, your smile is an embarrassment and grosses people out, you need to get new dental implants from Lasting Smiles. They have a summer smile special. If you have missing, damaged, rotted, decayed teeth, you go to Lasting Smiles. They got a free comprehensive dental exam, full 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, payments as low as $149 a month on approved credit. Mention KFI or John, and you get the Summer Smile Special. So go do it, and you'll look beautiful. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE. 844-GO-SMILE.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
This report is sponsored by iHeartAdvertising.com.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart.
Hey, it's Conway here for Cars for Kids. We've donated 2 vehicles to Cars for Kids, and man, was it easy. Cars for Kids has been around for 30 years, and they know what they're doing. I recently saw firsthand one of their summer programs going on right now where they have over 1,400 kids. I saw hundreds of kids in the camp, and they couldn't thank Cars for Kids enough for making this incredible opportunity possible. So when you donate a car, you're helping real kids thrive this summer. CarsForKids.org. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS, Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K.
Are you sitting on a fortune and don't even know it? That rare coin collection in the safe, that Cartier bracelet or vintage Tiffany lamp collecting dust, those pieces could be worth far more than you imagine. For more than 30 years, Tangible Investments has helped collectors and families across America unlock the hidden value in their rare coins, fine jewelry, art, and antiques. Founder Silda Geneva has built a legendary reputation for paying top dollar, professionally, securely, and with absolute discretion. And that's why you'll see him featured on CNBC, the History and Discovery channels, and in the Wall Street Journal. And that's why Tangible Investments has bought billions in collectibles, and that's billions with a B. Gold and collectible markets are at historic highs. Whether you've inherited a collection, managing an estate, or simply want to know what your collection is worth, call 800-711-2800. That's 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800 for a free, no-obligation appraisal. Before you sell, call SIL. Tangible Investments.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the station.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Want up to $25,000 in free silver? When you make a qualifying purchase through Golden Crest Metals, you can receive up to $25,000 in real silver added to your account. Call 888-447-7857 now for your free information kit. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offers a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium minted coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
What if we told you Matt Damon was screaming on set to get his voice weather warned for The Odyssey? From the TikTok Podcast Network, Raiders of the Lost Podcast has the whole story about the biggest movies of the summer. Download the iHeartRadio app and search Raiders of the Lost Podcast now.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
You've heard about speed dating. Well, it turns out burnt out millennials are doing the opposite. Slow dating is happening in 2026.
The Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow morning at 9.
I've completely tangled up my headset around my chair.
I know. I was wondering what that loud noise was when I walked out.
I knocked the TV remote, and the panel and the batteries all came flying out. And I've made a big mess here. It's a John Kobylt Show. This is normally a big mess. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Last call to get on the Moist line. You certainly have enough to be pissed off about. Good Lord. 877-MOIST-86. 877-MOIST-86. Or use the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app coming up in just a few minutes. Oh, yeah. Remember, I brought this up yesterday. Joey Tuccio is coming on. Joey Tuccio is an animal activist, and he's trying to save all the dogs that are still getting tortured and experimented on and killed on Skid Row in Los Angeles. And Karen Bass, another day goes by, does nothing. And I told you the story is they found a dog on a balcony downtown, not far from Skid Row, mouth tied shut. And an animal rescue went and rushed the dog to the emergency room because animal control, which is the government, did nothing. Now, this poor dog was paralyzed, malnourished, severe infections, didn't have enough muscle to go to the bathroom. Well, after he got treated at the hospital, the dog was forced to go back to the abusers. And he cites another example, a story like this. And this, you go through what's going on here, right? The homelessness has increased. The street homelessness has increased. We've got rats and flies and 85 million pounds of rotting food in Boyle Heights. We got the Palisades doesn't exist anymore. We've got massive flooding in West Hollywood. They still haven't opened Sunset Boulevard. And we have dogs being tied up and tortured. And after private citizens get them treated at the animal hospital, they get sent back to the abusers by Karen Bass. All these things you never could have imagined a few years ago, and they're all going on. And she's running around saying, vote for me. And then the other lady is even crazier, is even more of a Looney Tune. And somebody asked me the other day, I was telling Deborah, who are you going to vote for between Bass and Rahm? It's like, I'm not voting for either one of them. They both ought to be locked up in mental institutions. I'll drive them both there myself. Woke up this morning. I want to play this. Get cut two ready. This is Robert Kovacic from NBC4. Woke up this morning. There's another leak. Another one. Not far from the big one. Play cut two.
Things were going so well by the LADWP's own admission. They were making steady progress. And then tonight, just hours ago, water began to pool on the eastern edge of the surface that they were busy backfilling and preparing for paving. So this is where we stand right now. They are just trying to figure out exactly where that water was coming from. They're just getting ready to resurface Sunset Boulevard with the hope of opening Sunset Boulevard perhaps in the next 24 to 48 hours. And then all of a sudden they notice this water, and this is what they are trying to do now, trying to determine the source of the water. So what exactly are they doing? Well, let's go to Joe Romalo, LADWP's Chief Customer Service Officer, who tells NBC4 tonight, and I'm quoting here, crews are now excavating to find the source of the leak and assessing the extent of the damage to immediately begin additional repairs. The extent of the needed additional work and the impact to the estimated timeline for completion is not known at this time. So as you take a look from overhead, News Shopper 4, and here on the ground, what we are looking at right now, Carolyn, is as we approach 1 week since this water main break, we have a setback here on Sunset Boulevard. Just how much of a setback we are looking at, the LATWP calls this a, quote, evolving situation, and we should know much more tomorrow morning.
I heard that there was like a pinhole leak.
Yeah, and there is an update. It's been fixed. So hopefully it is going to be, Sunset will be reopened tomorrow.
It's just you wake up and you know, that's the story.
I know.
And you know, a few hours later, you know, there's another story and another story. And it's all about everything breaking down. It's all about these bizarre things like the plagues, like biblical plagues with the rats and the green flies and the floods. All right, we come back. We're going to talk about the tortured dogs. How about that?
No.
Deborah Marks live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
No break yet. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. It's hot out and getting even hotter as that heat wave we're in intensifies.
Triple-digit highs are forecast across many inland communities, and heat advisories and warnings remain in effect through early next week. The entire LA area is under a heat advisory through Monday, with the hottest days expected now through Sunday. The National Weather Service is warning about the increased risk of heat illness, and people are urged to take the usual precautions. Eileen Gonzalez, KFI News.
The news is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. The Los Angeles DWP says a pinhole leak that caused water to bubble up in the sinkhole on Sunset Boulevard. The agency was already backfilling in West Hollywood, has been fixed. Ellen Chang with DWP says the goal is still to reopen Sunset Boulevard tomorrow.
Friday afternoon would be the earliest that could happen. But again, it could, Saturday, Sunday, they're all in play here.
Roughly 17 million gallons of water poured out of the main pipeline when it ruptured last week, pushing cars around and flooding garages while shifting massive chunks of asphalt and concrete slabs. The LA County Medical Examiner was one of the witnesses testifying on this third day of a preliminary hearing for singer David, who's charged with killing a teenage girl. The court had been hearing about how her body was found in David Burke's impounded Tesla and about him ordering a body bag and chainsaws online. Family attorney Patrick Steinfeld says the girl's parents have been in court for all of that.
It's very disheartening for the family. They are very private individuals, and they're doing the best that they can to show their support and love for Celeste.
David has pleaded not guilty to all felony charges against him. Tropical storm Bertha has made a second landfall near the Texas-Louisiana state line after grazing southern Louisiana in a slow crawl that brought heavy surf and some flooding along the Gulf Coast. Forecasters say more flooding is possible as heavy rain moves onshore into southeast Texas. The National Hurricane Center says Bertha is still packing winds of around 45 miles per hour and is expected to weaken. President Trump is touting his latest initiative. He says will kickstart the construction of AI data centers without passing on the utility costs to consumers. AI data centers utilize a large amount of electricity and water resources, but Trump says his plan urges tech companies to pay for and create the electricity they need.
You're going to be building your own data centers, and you're going to building your own electric plants. You're essentially becoming a utility.
Many people who live near data centers have complained about the constant loud humming noise the centers produce around the clock. The U.S. military has fired the 13th night of strikes against Iran as clashes escalate over shipping routes. Patrick DeHaan of Gas Buddy says the gas, especially jet fuel and diesel, will continue to go up because of what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea.
And it's not just oil, but Ukrainian attacks on Russia continue as well. That's knocking out refining capacity that's badly needed.
Global oil is now trading at $100 a barrel. The European Union has fined Google about $1 billion over alleged antitrust violations. Regulators say the company broke the rules by setting up Google Play and its search engine to direct consumers toward its own services and apps to the detriment of its competitors. Google recently lost its appeal of a $4.5 billion antitrust fine overseas imposed for throttling competition and reducing consumer choice through its mobile Android operating system. And artificial intelligence, I can't talk today. Artificial intelligence has hit the first plot point of a science fiction nightmare.
OpenAI says 2 of its models broke out of a highly isolated training environment and hacked into another AI company called Hugging Face. Ironically, the 2 models were being tested on their ability to work together to cause a cyber attack. Experts say it's the first time they're aware of a cyber attack by an autonomous AI agent and exactly why they've been screaming about keeping AI development from causing mayhem on a bigger scale with more serious consequences. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
We're going to go to the 405 next.
You know, we could get an AI newscaster.
You probably should.
Deliver that more smoothly.
I know. That was a terrible.
You're not going to win an award today.
That's okay.
Thousands of places on the internet have a file with your name on it, with your home address, your cell number, your email address, and your medical conditions, yes, and your age and how you vote, and your kids' names. And you can't get at that file, but anyone with a credit card can buy it. That file is part of a multi-billion-dollar industry. data brokers. Your file is collected, packaged, and sold, and it's all legal. So every scam call, every phishing text that knows too much about you, somebody paid for that file. And last year, Americans lost a record $20 billion to fraud. And scammers didn't get lucky. They got prepared. They're smart. And I did something about my file. I used Incogni, INCOGNI. Incogni goes broker by broker and forces each one to delete your file. They have done that and gotten me off 324 broker sites. They've done it 441 times because sometimes the broker sites put your name back on. But Incogni keeps scanning. The opt-out forms that they bury, Incogni finds them. And when the data comes back, Incogni wipes it out again. Go to incogni.com/KFI, 60% off. Incogni.com/KFI. And take your private life off the market.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be another hot one tomorrow. Mid-80s to mid-90s. Metro LA, triple digits in the valleys in the IE. It's going to be windy again for the IE. Mid-90s to triple digits in the high desert and windy again. Mid-70s to low 80s for the beaches. Mid to upper 80s inland OC. Right now it's 77 in Dana Point, 88 in Anaheim, 90 in Diamond Bar, and it's 89 in Simi Valley. The KFI financial update brought to you by Supershore, supershore.com. One super agency, one powerful platform. All your business insurance in one place. The Dow closed down 507. S&P 500 down 91 and NASDAQ down 553. Slow on the 405 in Irvine.
Buckle up here on that northbound side. That's where the drive slows down at Irvine Center Drive. Northbound delays continue all the way to the 710. You've got a decent opening until you make your way to Artesia Boulevard, and you're slow ahead to the 105. More delays in Culver City from about Venice Boulevard all the way to the 5 merge into Sylmar. That drive on the southbound side of the 405 loads up out of West LA from Santa Monica Boulevard, and that slow drive continues all the way to Palo Verde in Long Beach. Tough on that 210 eastbound leaving Pasadena. Delays from the 134 and stretches all the way to the 15. Ontario, both sides of the 15, slowing down between the 60 and the 10. And that 60 eastbound loads up in Chino. This is leaving the 71. You're on the brakes ahead all the way to University. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I was standing in line at the grocery store when a little boy looked at me and said, "Mommy, why does that lady have crayon marks on her legs?" He was talking about my varicose veins, and I was mortified. With summer coming, I knew I couldn't keep hiding them, so I called West Medical. They were kind, understanding, and their treatments are quick, effective, and have little to no downtime. Best of all, most PPO insurance plans are accepted. Call 1-800-WEST-MED for your free, no-obligation consultation, or visit westmedical.com.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a new iHeart podcast. Real-life drama with real-life consequences and advice that might just save the day. Hear it now on the iHeart Radio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival,
presented by Capital One,
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena. Streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu. A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com.
Brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile, proud partner of the 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Get that. This is my song feeling. Only at Metro.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. It's the John Kobylt Show, and we're on every day from 3 until 6, and after 6 o'clock, whatever you missed, John Kobylt Show on demand. That's the podcast. And also, we're live on YouTube. And today, we're also live on X, Twitter. We're live everywhere with video if you want to watch us. And I forgot to mention, we have the name of the contestant. Somebody who listens to our show won $1,000 yesterday by typing in the keyword. Raphael, his last name starts with L. I don't know his full name. Raphael L. $1,000 richer because he listens to us.
Wow.
Yeah, big payoff there. So that contest works. That's a national contest. So you're fighting against hundreds of other KFI stations and thousands of listeners. But Raphael came through. In fact, I am told we get kind of a disproportionate number of winners here at KFI.
Oh.
So probably at the other stations, disc jockeys skip over this. But we're pretty faithful to make sure you have a chance every hour to win. Raphael, congratulations. Now let's talk to Joey Tuccio. And Joey's been on too frequently lately because this just won't stop. The torture, the killing, the experimentation on dogs in the Skid Row area and in surrounding neighborhoods, it never ends. Karen Bass will not stop it. Jim McDonnell, the police chief, will not stop it. What kind of sickness has taken over their brains? I can't explain this. And the latest actually, Joey's been posting something almost every hour at times. There's a video about a dog on a balcony downtown, mouth tied shut. Animal control did nothing. I'm going to have Joey tell this story when he comes on here. How are you, Joey Tuccio?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. Every time I come on, I'm just swarmed with DMs saying, I heard you. You were great. Thank you for spreading awareness. So thank you as always. It's really inspiring. Thank you.
I hope they all bang on Karen Bass's head and Nithya Raman's head. It Starts With One is the name of his organization. All right. Tell us about this dog on the balcony, his mouth tied shut. Animal control wouldn't do anything about it. What happened?
Yeah, so this is actually the second incident in the past week where a dog was on a balcony, completely neglected, in this case, severely abused, mouth tied shut. An amazing rescue called Compton Paw Patrol, who really, based on the name, obviously, goes around Compton mostly and finds these dogs that are just beyond abuse. But she was able to get the dog to agree for them to get the dog to the vet with her. So unfortunately, they had to come with her. The dog was paralyzed. The dog was malnourished. The dog was so weak that he couldn't even go to the bathroom. The back of his legs was just completely urine covered, fecal, like everything. This dog was in bad shape. And they had to give the dog back. Legally, they had to give the dog back. And the people wanted the dog back.
Wait. The abusers of the dog who got that dog in such horrific, put the dog in such a horrific condition, instead of getting arrested and put in jail, they got the dog back. What, to do it again?
Yes, exactly. And in fact, last week, there was another situation where a dog was on a balcony. The whole balcony was covered in urine-stained, fecal-stained wee-wee pads. And the dog was there. It was there for days and days and days. The owner saw nothing wrong with it. There was a big outrage over it. The police went and animal control went, and they said the dog is in immaculate condition, and she still has the dog. What? And the problem is, it really comes down to people don't want to enforce the law. In fact, today, I know I'm going on a rampage. Sorry, I just had a frappuccino.
No, go ahead.
I was walking my dog this morning in North Hollywood, and I was walking past this tent, and a dog came out, and the dog just gave birth. It was pregnant. I couldn't tell which. And he said, do you guys need anything? And she said, yeah, I need water. So I opened up the tent, newborn puppies. There was a dad puppy, a dog crammed in a cage, half the size of the dog. There was a freshly dug grave for one of the dogs that died. And this is in North Hollywood. And this guy was hitting his dog, beating the mom dog, saying, this is all your fault. You should have kept your leg shut. To the mom dog.
What? He's screaming that at a dog? She should have kept her legs shut?
Yeah. It was at a freshly dug grave right there in where the average house is 1.3.
This is a horror movie.
It's a horror. It is. It's horrible. And the tent next to it was set on fire a couple of days ago because another homeless person thought the person there was cheating on him. And there was another homeless person that was trying to set that tent on fire that had all the dogs in it.
Wait a second. You're talking, this is happening live in Los Angeles.
Today in North Hollywood.
In North Hollywood. Today in North Hollywood, they're setting tents on fire. They're torturing dogs, screaming at dogs.
Yep. And it was only because I was walking my dog and this dog came out and I investigated further. But it's like Adrian Nazarian, the council member, he knows about this situation. There's all homeless tents down this little street on Vineland, right past the bridge. And it's been there forever. There's been times I walk by and half the tree is on fire. There's people doing crazy things. And in this case, now there's another freshly dug grave because nobody could get their stuff together.
All right. So is there any police around? Anything?
Well, I will say in this case, the police did come and they did arrest the two people, and the dogs are in East Valley Shelter. But here's the problem. The problem is this. Now the dogs are in evidence, which means they could get the dogs back. And sometimes they do get the dogs back because there's no enforcement. I know I say this a lot.
Right. Because there are plenty of laws that would stop this sort of thing, but they don't enforce them.
1,000%. And right now it's very, very hot. This dog that was in a crate was dying of heat stroke because they had no water. They had no water, let alone they should not be having dogs. And they were breeding these dogs. And they're like, okay, we're going to sell this puppy for $2,000. We have somebody that will buy this dog for $2,000. And they're just nuts. They're not giving this. They're not.
No, this is insanity.
$2,000. It's just insanity.
It's total insanity. Yeah.
It's wild. And then just today, there was another dog on Skid Row found in a trash bin that we were told about. It's crazy, but I will say this. I can't say exactly what, but something is happening on Sunday that will really, really aggravate Karen Bass. And it's going to be lovely. And I'm excited to share it with you.
Why don't you hold on. Wait. I got to do some news. Why don't we save this announcement for when we come back? Okay. Because there's other things I want to talk with you about too. Joey Tuccio, it starts with 1. That's just.
This is in the San Fernando Valley.
Yes. Yeah. This is not Skid Row.
No.
But the parts of North Hollywood might as well be Skid Row.
Yeah, but.
Wow. All right. I know this is torturous.
It is.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing this to hurt you.
I know. We have to figure out.
But we got to stop.
We've got to stop this.
Deborah Mark, live, KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The heat wave in Southern California has intensified, so it's not good for the animals that are on the street being abused. And on top of everything else, they have to deal with the heat. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada is ready to respond to President Trump's latest tariffs on the country. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We will go to the 5 next.
Lasting Smiles dental implants. If you're at the end of the line where your teeth are so rotted and decayed, no one will even look at you. They won't even talk to you because you open your mouth and it's like, close that. Rotted, decayed, damaged, missing. Get dental implants. You will look so much more attractive. You look beautiful. People will like you again. Lasting Smiles has a summer smile special, free comprehensive dental plan, full 3D imaging, a custom treatment plan, the whole thing. Payments as low as $149 a month. You can do that on approved credit. Mention KFI or John. Get the summer smile special. LastingSmiles.com. Call 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE, 844-GO-SMILE.
Southland weather from KFI. It's going to be hot again tomorrow. Highs ranging from the 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by Albertsons and Vons. From your Toyota dealers traffic center, we make it easy. Slow on the 5 in Burbank.
We're looking at northbound delays, and they're filling in coming up on Buena Vista. Delays in stretches all the way to the 14. And if you're making that connection into Santa Clarita, 14 northbound backs up off of the 5 all the way to Newhall Avenue. More heavy traffic ahead approaching Sand Canyon. Tough in Pasadena, 210 eastbound, leaving the 134 freeway. Delays in stretches all the way to the 15. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
When power goes out and cell networks fail, AM radio can be a lifeline with local news, weather, and emergency information. But time is running out. AM radio could disappear from new cars unless Congress acts. Please text the 2 letters AM to 39179 and tell Congress to vote yes on the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. Text the letters AM to 39179. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by this station.
This week at Vons and Albertsons, fresh split chicken breasts, bone-in value packs are $169 per pound with membership where applicable. And 18-count Lucerne large eggs are $1.99 each. Limit 3 with digital coupon on Vons or Albertsons.com.
This report is sponsored by Citadel Outlets. Keep the excitement going at Citadel Outlets. Experience the world's largest soccer ball, a 20-foot spectacle, plus free weekend entertainment and family fun. Now through July 31st. Don't miss it. Plan your visit at CitadelOutlets.com.
Toyota's We Make It Easy sales event is here to keep your summer moving. Get great deals on Toyotas built for any summer adventure. Like the all-hybrid Camry with efficiency and style that never cools down. Tacoma with the power to take your summer to new heights. Or RAV4 Hybrid with the versatility and range for all your plans. Don't miss great deals on Toyota's most popular models. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
What can you do at Toyota.com? Better question, what can't you do? Because at Toyota.com, you can check out our latest models, search our inventory, and see our latest offers. You can even build and price your new Toyota right online, picking the exact model and color that's right for you. Whether you just want to download a brochure or you're ready to buy, all things Toyota are at Toyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Are you struggling with bad feet? Hi, it's Mike from the Good Feet store. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about how your feet can affect your entire body.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're going to feel better. Being able to move freely means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you even know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most people don't, and most shoes and inserts only support one of your foot's arches. Learn how Good Feet arch supports can support all 4 of your arches. We want to help you walk, run, exercise, and play in comfort this year. We have 11 area locations. Find the one closest to you at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Gary and Shannon.
How do I know if it's just Taco Bell diarrhea or dirty lettuce Taco Bell diarrhea?
It's the cost of doing business if you're going to Taco Bell. It's collateral damage if you end up on the toilet. You know what you're doing.
Tomorrow morning at 9 on KFI AM 640.
Instead of the one bullet in the Russian roulette, by the time you get there, you're dealing with 4 or 5.
There's one vacancy in that cylinder.
This is KFI. More stimulating talk.
Why do you love movies? Is it the emotion, the spectacle, the escapism? On Raiders of the Lost podcast, we explore cinema like no one else, including huge interviews with stars like Ryan Gosling on Project Hail Mary.
It was like the Jaws shark. Didn't always work, came with its own problems. That's what made it great. The heart of the movie is Rocky and Grace, and their friendship is hard-earned.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Raiders of the Lost podcast, and listen now.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Andy Reesmeyer in for Conway this week. Tonight, the Balls are turning down music. It's because the teenagers are overstimulated. Somebody get them a bottle. That's coming up tonight on the Conway Show. $1,000. Now, come on, go.
Now is your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's CREDIT. Enter it now at KFIAM640.com/cash.
KFI. And yesterday at this time, we had a winner. We had a $1,000 winner, Raphael. Today, the word is credit. Credit. Enter that at KFIAM640.com/cash. And if you win, you'll get an email like Raphael did. Check your junk and spam folder, too. And listen every hour, every weekday. Starts at 9 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. And next chance to win is tomorrow morning at 9:20 with Gary and Shannon here on KFI. We continue with Joey Tuccio. His organization is It Starts With One. And they are rescuing animals on Skid Row and surrounding neighborhoods. And he's been telling us these shocking, terrible stories. You said that you've got something coming up this weekend aimed at Karen Bass. So let's talk about this.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I don't like Karen Bass and I don't like Nithya Raman. And part of me is like, when I go after one, that means the other one, I don't know. I don't like both of them. So
I don't either.
I'm kind of torn. Yeah, it's tough. Like, do we just suffer through another 4 years with Karen and just do that? Or do we suffer through another 8 years maybe with Nithya?
Oh,
I mean, it's either way,
they're very, very
so
bad.
bad.
The thing is, it went from bad, just being bad administrators, to now this is endorsing public torture and death of animals. This is something way beyond just they can't balance the budget or the potholes aren't being filled. I mean, these are animals suffering and dying in front of everybody. And she's got 8,000 guys in the police department and she won't let them do anything. But go ahead. Tell us. Yeah, go ahead.
It's wild. And, when I see Nithya or Karen post anything animal related, which, by the way, is extraordinarily rare, it's always the same thing. It's always them smiling, a small dog smiling, and that's not fair to the public because that's not the truth. They need to be posting like what Spencer was doing. He was going to Skid Row and posting the truth. And the public needs to know, because there's some people I talk to in LA that they don't even know that there's animal abuse on Skid Row or it's that bad, because they're following people like Karen or Nithya who don't post the truth. And that's where they get their information from. And it's deadly to the dogs.
So you said you have a plan or an event or something?
Yeah, so it's actually through another organization who just texted me. It's going to be on Sunday. It's I can't say it. I also can't keep secrets. So don't ask that I can't keep secrets. But it's something that's going to be very bad for Karen Bass. And it's something that's very important that people know. It's something that's very important that she understands that we are not going away. We are just going to get louder. And even though I despise Nithya Raman, Skid Row, especially with the animals, it is Karen Bass's fault. And she will be held accountable.
Okay. So I guess by Monday morning, we'll know what this is.
Yeah, Monday morning, we'll talk about it. And it's going to be very annoying for her. And good, she needs to be annoyed. Mm-hmm. And
is this something people can participate in, or it's just going to be something that we are going to learn about?
It's something that you'll see. It's something that you'll see, something that you'll learn about. After that, I do suggest everybody share it. You might even see it, driving down the street. Who knows? But it's something that is going to be public. And it goes back to, this or just in the future, the public has to know. This whole facade of Nithya Raman posting that she was at an animal event over the weekend and posting 2 pictures of dogs smiling. Meanwhile, there's dogs dying of fentanyl on Skid Row. That's the reality. 2 dogs smiling, that's not the reality. So we will continue to post the reality.
All right, Joey Tuccio, thank you very much. We'll talk again next week about this. All right. Joey Tuccio. So disgusting. So just nerve-wracking. I can't believe this goes on. And they think we're going away. I'm not going to go away. I can't believe this. This is beyond depraved. Yeah, they put out their stupid little social media posts. Wish there weren't so many ignorant people in this city.
I wish we could safely go there and do the show there.
Yeah, it just is impossible. It is a violent outdoor zoo. We've got Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
A police criminalist has testified that blue fragments recovered by the LA County Medical Examiner's Office from a teenage girl whose remains were found in the front trunk of singer David's Tesla matched up with bits missing from an inflatable pool the prosecution alleges he used to dismember her body. On this third day of a hearing to determine if there is enough evidence to send the singer to trial, the LAPD criminalist told the court she was able to compare some fragments collected from the teen by the county medical examiner's office with damage to the pool and concluded that the fragments were once part of the pool. The heat wave in Southern California has intensified with temperatures nearing the triple-digit mark and humidity increasing. National Weather Service forecasters say the weather system will also keep temperatures higher at night in many areas. They say today through Sunday expected to be the hottest stretch of the next 7 days. A heat advisory took effect yesterday for almost the entire LA area and will stay in force until 8 p.m. Monday. Should school board members give themselves raises?
A new California law is allowing trustees to dramatically increase their pay for the first time in more than 40 years. Some districts have approved raises of 400 to 500%, even while facing multi-million-dollar budget deficits and staff cuts. EdSource reports supporters say the job has become nearly full-time and higher pay attracts more candidates. Critics argue the timing couldn't be worse. Heather Brooker, KFI News.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says diplomacy is the only way to bring the war between the U.S. and Iran to an end. He says the disruption to shipping in the Strait of Hormuz and the growing threat to civilians in the region needs to stop.
We see an alarming disregard for international law. Impunity is spreading. Violations are going unanswered. Each violation unanswered becomes the next violation's precedent.
Yemen's Houthi rebels attacked 2 Saudi Arabian oil tankers in the Red Sea overnight. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada is ready to respond to President Trump's latest tariffs on the country. He says the response could include possible retaliatory measures.
Yes, we are intensifying our negotiations with the United States in pursuit of a comprehensive agreement that addresses all tariff-related sectors.
Earlier this week, Trump announced new 50% tariffs on Canadian products effective August 19th. Going to the 5 next.
Let me tell you something. You're running a business and you sign your insurance policy. Some brokers, that's the finish line for them. They get a handshake from you, they take a commission, and they're done. And you may not hear from them again until it's renewal time, but your business has to run all year. And any gaps in your insurance, those are there all year. And so is the risk you're taking. And maybe you don't really know what's going on inside that policy. I'm telling you about SuperSure. If your company has more than 25 employees, whether you're the owner, the CFO, or the HR manager, the whole thing can be too complex just to buy a policy online. SuperSure is the super agency built for you, licensed in every state for your business insurance and employee benefits, and all with year-round support for you and your team. At supersure.com, you can access a tool like Fine Print Facts, which will translate your current policy into plain English, so you finally know what's covered and what's not. And you get a business value calculator so you can estimate what your business is worth, so you know what needs protecting. Supersure.com, one super agency, one powerful platform, and all your policies in one place. Supersure.com. That's supersure.com.
Paid for by SuperSure Insurance Agency, LLC, a licensed insurance agency.
Southland weather from KFI. Hot again tomorrow, mid-80s to mid-90s. Metro LA, triple digits in the valleys and the IE. Windy again in the IE. Mid-90s to triple digits in the high desert and windy there as well. Mid-70s to low 80s at the beaches. Mid to upper 80s inland OC. Right now it's 86 in Laguna Woods and 93 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 5 in Sun Valley.
This one's on the northbound side. It's coming up on Penrose. That's where the right lane has been blocked, but it looks like they're getting things cleared to the shoulder. Big delays for that 5 northbound, slowing down off of the 134 freeway beyond the scene of the crash. The drive remains heavy all the way to the 14. And the drive on the 210 westbound, slowing down out of La Cañada, leaving Angelos Crest Highway. You remain on the brakes and stretches all the way to Hubbard Street. Tough on the eastbound side of the 210, leaving Pasadena from the 134 freeway. Delays in stretches all the way towards the 15. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Angel Martinez.
Hey, it's John Kobylt, and it's time to talk to Bobby Tagavi, trial attorney and managing partner at Sweet James. Bobby, welcome. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, John. Good to be here.
All right. This story is about Chris Brown, the rap star. He's got to pay almost $13 million in damages to a housekeeper, a woman named Maria Avila, over a dog attack. Massive security dog on his property just ripped into Avila. Brown testified. He's the first witness at the trial. And looking at this list here, I don't think he said anything that helped his case. He said he heard the dog named Hades, that's a bad sign, growling, rushed downstairs, right. Found Avila face down, motionless. He locked up the dog, and he didn't call 911 because he was afraid a recording would be leaked to the media. He never touched her. This is his admission. Never offered her water, never brought her a towel, nothing. And then went on to describe the injuries and how much blood there was. He was afraid that it was going to be leaked because he's a celebrity. And so he ran off the property. And then he challenges this thing in court.
Yeah, jurors don't like that.
Jurors don't like that, and they're, you miss that human element and that human touch and the human empathy when you have somebody that's hurt like that, and your answers are no, I didn't do anything and I didn't help. It really is not a good look for Chris Brown in that particular situation, and probably goes into the number that the jury came back with. But really, these cases come down to what a reasonable person in Chris Brown's shoes would have done, and the dog owner's shoes would have done. And, if you have the dog for security, you reasonably believe that it's going to attack somebody if the dog is agitated. That's why you have it as a security guard. And that's kind of where I think the liability came in. And then obviously the injuries, like you stated earlier, or, the dog mauled her pretty bad. So that's kind of where you get the cross section of the liability or the accountability plus the big number.
Thanks, Bobby. If you've suffered an injury, Sweet James is the firm to call. Call 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-MILLION, sweetjames.com. Offices throughout California, including Los Angeles.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Curious how you would look? PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com. PlasticSurgeryUncensored.com.
This is Jacob Emrani. When you need help after an accident, I'm here for you.
1-800-345-6789. Call Jacob. Tap into happy hour with half-priced pizzas and select apps every weekday at Yard House. Find yours at yardhouse.com.
This July, celebrate your independence with $1,776 on new windows at American Vision Windows.
We're putting the media back in social media. Follow us now everywhere at KFI AM 640.
KFI M640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. John Kobylt Show. And we got a live stream tomorrow that we're going to do on YouTube and X. Live stream at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. if you'd be there. In fact, we're doing all our YouTube shows simulcast on X or Twitter. And you can just access, where it says John Kobylt Show. On YouTube, it's youtube.com/@John Kobylt Show. You can subscribe. You could become a member. And let's do that super chat at the end of this segment, since it's about Deborah. And so now she's demanding recognition. Because it's all about her.
It is.
It is. It is. You're the center of the universe. Mm-hmm. If you haven't heard, I guess the official numbers are going to be released tomorrow. But Matthew Seedorf over at Fox 11 got a preview of the numbers, and sit down, grab the side of your seat so you don't fall over. It looks like the homeless number is up 3.5%. 3.5%. And get this, here's another number for you. The street homeless is up 8%. This is Karen Bass's fourth year, and the street homeless is up 8%. And that's the number that really impacts people, because that's what we have to look at. That's what we have to run from. That's what we have to smell and trip over and step over. 8%. How could this lady be the mayor for over 3.5 years now, and the homelessness still goes up 8%? And remember what she was doing during the, by the way, they did this count, I believe. Don't they do this at the beginning of the year?
Yes.
At January? So she knew when she was campaigning that the homeless number was up 8%. And they buried the number until after the campaign. So when she was out there claiming that the number was down the last year, it was a lie, a knowing lie. And I'll mention this again. I went on a TV show with one of her friends, an activist. And when I said that number is wrong, that homelessness has gone up, a woman started screaming at me. She had the biggest emotional meltdown in front of me I'd ever seen. Now, I was basing it on the Rand Corporation, which is a private think tank. They did a study, and they found out last year's count missed a third of the people in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row. That's why I said that Bass is lying. Her number is phony. This lady didn't want to hear it. She just screamed. And here's the story. This is the LA Times, October 2025. The annual homeless count last year missed nearly a third of the people in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row. And the Rand Corporation figured out why. And this is easy to follow. You remember when homeless people would just be sleeping in the alleyways and on the streets? And then all of a sudden, was it 10 years ago? These blue tents popped up everywhere. I just put all these pieces together. They popped up everywhere because those were the nonprofits. That was the start of all the tax money we were pumping into the system. So they were given these blue tents, partly to give them more humane shelter, and partly because it would make it evident to us just how bad the situation was. And they conned us into pouring more money into homeless funding because you saw the blue tents everywhere. All makes sense now, right? Until the blue tents, people got burned out looking at them, and they said, hey, wait a second. We've been giving money for 10 years, and there's more and more of these blue tents. So then Karen Bass and the nonprofits, they switched strategy. They started removing the tents because the visual was too much of a negative. It made people sour on the taxes. Well, LAHSA was counting blue tents in its homeless count. They weren't counting bodies. They were counting blue tents. So when the Rand Corporation went, they said, look at all these bodies we're finding sleeping under a roof in a storefront. Look at all these bodies we're finding in the alleyways. Look at all the bodies we're finding in parks, in bushes. A lot of them were hidden, hard to see in the dark, because they do those homeless counts in the dark. So you can't see people sleeping in the alleys and in the bushes and in the parks. You can't see them, which is by design. You could see them if they were in the tents. You can't see them otherwise. And so in 2025, well, look at that, homelessness is down. No, it's not down. They took away the tents. And LAHSA was just counting tents. Rand Corporation went in and counted bodies. And they found that a third of the homeless in Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row were not counted by the liars at LAHSA, by the liars in the Bass administration. They were sleeping rough. That was the new term. You see how they did it? They manipulated you with the tents. And when the tents became bad PR, they got rid of them. And then didn't count those homeless anymore. And so Rand has done several studies, and they've gone back and done them again and found out, no, there's more people now than there were last year. The numbers never dropped in 2025. It was flat in 2025. It's up 8% now. And she lied and lied and lied, and the news media, bastards, you kept saying the same thing. Well, according to Los Angeles officials, homelessness went down last year. You stupid suckers. They pulled a trick on all you eagle-eyed reporters and producers and news directors. Of course, you knew that. You went along with it because you're all proud progressives and you want to see people throwing their tax money into this money pit. You aren't going to take on Karen Bass. She's got all kinds of cultural protection. And she had good intentions. No, she doesn't have good intentions. She knows the money's being wasted. She knows her friends are running off with the money and stealing it. They know on the inside that the people on the outside, the news media, will not cover the truth. It's too much work, too much trouble. And so they on the inside, Bass and her friends, Newsom and his friends, they laugh. Now, if you haven't heard our 4 o'clock hour, that's worth listening to on the podcast because Adam Housley was on. And he's got a Substack news service. And he's got a lot of Department of Justice, FBI, IRS contacts. That investigation into the Newsoms is real. It's heavy stuff, and they're finishing it up. They've done all the interviews. They've done the. They've had a wire. They've been recording and tracking Jennifer Newsom's phone calls and her emails and her texts for 2 years. And there's a whole bunch of people are sweating right now. They're either targets, some of them may have flipped, and that's reaching a boil. But my point is the Newsom crowd knew what they were doing, and they laughed at the media, who were constantly giving them tongue baths, polishing up their privates. Same thing with Bass. Bass knows these are massive undercounts. She knew that they pulled the tents on purpose because they drew too much attention. She knew the homeless were sleeping in the alleys. She knew her Inside Safe program was a failure immediately. A couple of years ago, she said this is costing too much. What's that code for? We're not getting that many homeless off the street. Costing a fortune, and a huge percentage of them are getting loose anyway and going back on the street. And there's 2,000 of them dying a year. This is a failure in so many different ways, no matter how you look at it. There's no way to spin this. It's a colossal failure. Homelessness is up. Street homelessness is up. Deaths are up. Record amounts of money being spent. She's in her 4th year. After 9 years of Garcetti. Last 13 years. Go ahead. Think what this place was like in 2010. We had almost none of this stuff. Almost nothing. And how much are we paying for it now? Now we're paying for this. And we have these phony LAHSA accounts. We have the people running LAHSA who are Bass's best friends getting fired because they're giving money to their husbands and their friends. 8% it went up. Tomorrow it's going to come out. It's going to come out officially. And you know what? This is probably an undercount. Remember, last year they claimed it was down double digits and it was flat because they missed a third of the homeless. This year, if it's up 8%, I bet you it's up like 15%. Because they're still using the same fraudulent method. But you suckers, you pay the taxes. And these lying bastards in the media, keep that line. Well, you know, I'm sorry, the city of Los Angeles says that. Oh, the city of Los Angeles says. Yeah. So does the Chinese Communist Party. So does the Russian government. So does the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Yeah, they all have statements that they say. Let's just report them because they're true, aren't they? Because the government says so. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. The police criminalist has testified in day 3 of Singer David's preliminary hearing, and another water leak happened in West Hollywood this morning. We'll have more at the top of the hour. We're going to the 10 next.
I just opened a new account at Infinity Bank in Orange County, and it was the most seamless, easiest process to switch banks. Talk with Victor Guerrero. He's my guy. He's the president who will talk to you anytime, any day. And here's his phone number to prove it. 657-223-1000. 657-223-1000. Infinity Bank, not trying to be the biggest bank, but one that consistently provides excellent customer service and won't nickel and dime you on any fees. And take advantage of their limited time promotion with their money market account. One of the best rates in the U.S. Ask for Victor. Call him up. 657-223-1000. Infinity Bank member FDIC.
Southland weather from KFI. Hot again tomorrow. High 70s to the triple digits. This report brought to you by AutoZone. From your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Slow on the 10 in Santa Monica.
Eastbound delays, well, they're loading up, getting away from Cloverfield. Delays across Mid-City all the way to the 5 in Boyle Heights. We're also looking at the 110 in South LA. Northbound delays leaving the 105 freeway all the way back to the 5 in Elysian Park. Southbound slowing loads up also in Elysian Park, Stadium Way as you travel back towards Manchester Avenue. And it is tough on the 57 starting in Orange, northbound from Orangewood to the 91 and ahead in leaving Brea from Lambert to the 60 with Southern California's most accurate traffic reports. I'm Angel Martinez.
If you haven't had a termite inspection in the last 3 years, don't wait for costly damage. Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free termite inspection from a licensed technician. If you have termite activity, we have the right treatment. No tent, no poisonous gas, no move out. Orange oil treatment will have minimal disruption at home with tenants or your business. Get 10% off, a 2-year warranty, and 90 days same as cash. OAC, serving all of SoCal. Call 800-PACIFIC, PacificCoastTermite.com. Some restrictions apply.
Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Gold has hit record highs, and many Americans are discovering they can move part of their existing IRA or 401k into physical gold and silver without paying taxes or penalties. It's called a rollover, and Golden Crest Metals helps investors do it every day. No cash out, no complicated paperwork, no hassle. Golden Crest is a nationally recognized precious metals firm seen on Fox Business and CNBC with an A- BBB rating and 5-star reviews. Plus, right now, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857 now for your free information kit and speak with a gold specialist. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. That's 888-447-7857. Golden Crest Metals is not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk and are not suitable for all investors. Free silver offer consists of a 10% bonus and silver applied to qualifying purchases of premium minted coins. Minimum purchase of $10,000 required. Bonus silver capped to $25,000 and credit is in addition to customer account. Free IRA storage subject to qualifying purchase tiers. See GoldenCrestMetals.com for full terms and conditions.
With Norwegian Cruise Line, you don't have to choose. Incredible beaches and world-class dining, jungle backdrops, and poolside lounging. Book your Mexican Riviera cruise sailing from LA or San Diego. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. It's your home and your home equity. Shouldn't you be able to access it?
The bank didn't think so.
When HELOC said no, Splatero said go. There's only a 500 minimum credit score and no income requirement.
What's the catch?
You keep your existing mortgage rate.
That's not a catch.
With Splatero's personalized process, you can get your funds faster.
Also, not a catch.
Visit Splatero.com today. That's SPLITERO.com. No monthly payments, just cash in hand. Splatero.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, would you want to live to be 156 years old? Well, a new study shows humans could theoretically reach that age. Just listen to Handel on The Rock. No, I need some help. That's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 a.m. on the next Bill Handel Show.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Let's see, we've got a new member. And what's their name here? Gail Bice became a new YouTube member. Okay. Well, welcome, Gail. It's good to have you here. And we have a super chat comment. And I had mentioned earlier that we might have to replace Deborah with AI because she had trouble reading out loud before. And this guy, Terry Windsor, says, nope. There'll be no replacing Deborah with AI. She's our girl. All right. We'll hold on to her for a while longer. We can with the, you can get AI friends on the internet. We can get like an imaginary Deborah, looks just like her, that reads the news and just will pop up on the screen. And she's already on the road. I wouldn't say that if she was still here.
Can we get her the tiger print shoes too?
she had the leopard going again today. We're going to talk tomorrow. I want you to know with Kenneth Schrupp. He and Christopher Rufo are journalists and researchers for City Journal, and they have a new story out that in Los Angeles, Kenneth Schrupp personally surveyed over 200 LA homeless and found the majority of them are not from our city. And he says many of them were doing drugs as Schrupp was speaking with them. And they have a whole chart here. And 53% of the vagrants that he talked to were from another state, another city, or another country. Most of them from another state. And then there was a chunk that was from, outside the city. And it's a color-coded chart. And we're going to talk about the details of that. And in one of the stories they wrote, well, actually, this one was from May. He had pointed out that in 2020, they found that 1/3 of the vagrants were homeless outside of Los Angeles County. That's in 2020. By 2024, the Rand Corporation reported that 41% were outside LA County of the homeless they surveyed. Because people like Bass and Garcetti and the crazy homeless advocates claim that these are all our brothers. These are fellow Angelenos, that it was a myth that out-of-town vagrants, mental patients, drug addicts were coming to Los Angeles. They said it was a myth. And LAHSA in 2021 stopped publishing the data about where these vagrants previously lived. And then in 2025, Rand, which puts out a lot of good information, removed that data from their annual report, put it in an annex, which was hard to find, and most people never read it. Basically, they buried or eliminated the data from public consumption. In the meantime, the numbers get bigger and bigger. There are more and more people. There's a higher percentage now. If it's 53% now and it was 33% in 2020, we are spending all this money and time and energy on people outside who come from out of town. Going back to that Michael Gates appearance a couple of days ago, who's running for attorney general against Rob Bonta. He said when he was the city attorney in Manhattan Beach, and they still do this, they have lowered their homelessness dramatically by going and saying, you have to go to treatment or you have to go home. We'll get you a plane ticket or a bus ticket, or you go to jail. And that's all that works. They know this. They know this at LAHSA. They know this in Bass's office that these people are from out of town. But they like having these bodies because they can get billions of dollars in tax money. And then they manipulate you. The way I told you they manipulate you by putting up blue tents to make you see, oh, bad homelessness, we must pay more in taxes. And then when you get tired of it, they take away the tents. So you say, oh, I guess all our tax money worked. No, homelessness went up at least 8% this year alone. Well, they also manipulated you by hiding the data that these are out-of-town, freeloading drug addicts and mental patients who were kicked out by their families and dumped on us. So we got to go through all this misery. And they, in the bureaucracy, they get, and in the nonprofit world, they get to make their six-figure salaries. So they want these Greyhound buses to keep dropping off more and more drug addicts and mental patients from the broken families around the country, because that's big business for them. It is every day, every minute a racket, and they all know it, and they all laugh. They're getting rich, they're getting happy, and you're paying the taxes like a dumb clock. You're paying the tax. All right, we're done. And Andy Riesmeyer's coming in next for Conway. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Michael Crozier has the news live in the 24-hour KFI News Center.
KFI.